And you know what that means? It's time for some IRC Super League. We are here in the historic Monza circuit for round number 14 of the season 6 IRC Super League, and we are in for some tremendous fast high flying racing, if that makes any sense, which it probably doesn't. Whoops, and I've just heard an awful sound, which I think was my voice, as I'm just about to do the usual of share the stream, and then we'll get on to some action now. You can see the track is in front of us right now, and you can see then the layout is very simple, isn't it, by the looks, but it's anything but simple. You got to attack the curbs, don't you? You got to attack the curves. You got to get this just right. There's corner cutting. You've got to be wary of as well. It's going to be an absolutely incredible race. I have no doubt about that. Like last night, well, it's going to be very difficult, isn't it, to match up to last night, because the Elite League just seems to produce historic race after historic race. Last night it was absolutely incredible. The final few laps was insane between Lucas, between Murphy, between between BP. It was absolutely incredible stuff, wasn't it? And it's going to be difficult to match, but remember, the super guys will, I have no doubt, will probably put on just as a good show, possibly even better as well. It's going to be tough though, isn't it? Anyway, but let's just take a quick look at the track. Then you can see then it's 11 turns then around here, 3.5 miles long or 5.7 kilometers. And of course, this is the home of the Ferrari team, of course. Also home of the Toro Rosso team as well here in Italy. Toro Rosso have just basically announced that they are going to be AlphaTauri next season. And so we've got two Alphas on the grid. After all these years of waiting for the Alfa Romeo to come back, now we've got two of them, haven't we? So it's a bit like the Lotus, wasn't it? Remember when we finally had Lotus return to the grid? Then all of a sudden we had a second Lotus, didn't we? So which was interesting dynamic, wasn't it? I think it was back in 2012, wasn't it? So of course the first Tony Fernandez Lotus went into Caterham, didn't they? And of course Renault then turned themselves into Lotus full time. We got a full grid as well tonight. This is fantastic news. And of course, Jonathan Cox there just said, "Good evening, Sean. Good luck to all the drivers tonight. It's his home race tonight." Of course, it is Jonathan's home race. We mentioned last night on the stream that, of course, Jonathan lived 20 minutes away from the Monza circuit, didn't he? In his younger days, of course, he went to the 2004 race and the 1998 race. So, and of course, I think in both those times as well, Ferrari won those two races. So, that was definitely a good time to go, wasn't it? Especially 98, of course, when the hero Schumacher had an incredible race, didn't he? He had an appalling start, didn't he, from the front row, and then and was down to 4th or 5th, wasn't he, after the open exchange there? But great fight back, and he came through to winning in that incredible race. It really was a fantastic race. And talking of fantastic, let's just take a look at the Drivers' Championship, shall we then? As I'm right on the board tonight, fantastic. As I've said, fantastic already. We haven't even had a car on track yet. This is going to be epic tonight, isn't it? Not that bad. Who makes his return tonight? He is 50 points in front of us. So that's 2 race wins. He's in front of Jonathan Cox, who is second. Third position is IRC Racing. He's had a phenomenal last couple of rounds. Hasn't he? IRC Racing, he's really climbed up the standings quite considerably. He's 64 points behind then. And we have also got Asdog in 4th position. He's had a very consistent year, hasn't he? As well as Matt has struggled recently, and he's dropped down to 5th in the championship with Dave in 6th. We got Roscoe 7th, Timmy 8th, Physico in 9th, and Harry, it completes the top 10. Of course, there wasn't really much movement last week, was there? After the Hungarian Grand Prix, but Steve did. The only movement was actually Steve moved up 1 position to 12th in the championship on 42 points. He's joined on 42 points with Snap in 11th position. At the moment then, so as we're just about to get ready to go racing, I've just got we've just got some inside scoop from Double. He's just changed a bit of a setup there. So that's it, and he's gone half a second quicker. Double has, so wow, that's incredible, isn't it, to find half a second from tweaking your setup there. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing what Double can do, what all the other drivers can do. Then of course setups tonight then are going to be well, basically the setups tonight, your rear wing is going to be like a T-tray. Basically it's going to be so skinny, the rear wings are. Of course you're going to have the minimum downforce you can possibly have, So really, you don't want any drag on the car at all. You just want to go flat out. But that means that the corner's going to be so much more difficult, isn't it? There's two Lesmos there, which you can see on the top right-hand part of the track there. Those are going to be very difficult, isn't it? Of course, Hamilton had a big old smash there in 2009, and we had a big smash there last night as well, I think, in qualifying. So those two are going to be definitely a very interesting course as well. And then the Ascari chicane as well claimed a couple of drivers last night. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what's seeing about the who's going. They're going to be able to get through the Ascari chicane. The car gets really floaty, doesn't it, on the apex there. On the big apex there, of course, there's Dan Murphy there, who's also watching the stream. It was a great time. Of course, Dan Murphy, a part of the Elite League, had a fantastic race yesterday, didn't he? Really did. He was probably up there for probably vote for driver of the day. Really, he did a phenomenal job, and unfortunately, yes. And he's also he's throwing me off my game. And that's it. I'm not going to read any more comments there. Anyway, let's get down to it, shall we? Of course, we almost ready to get going. Of course, the standard layout of event end for IRC and also the league as well. Last night was, of course, we have 3 qualifying sessions. Of course, Q1 is made of 18 minutes. We lose the slowest 5 drivers of 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th. That's what Q1's about. Lining up those 5 cars. Q2 is about to line up the next 5 cars, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th and 15th. But remember, the top 10 must start on the tires which they set their fastest time on, so we're going to see a bit of strategy in Q2. And then in Q3, it is the fastest of the fastest. The top 10 will then duel it out for pole position then for the Italian Grand Prix in Monza. Of course, yesterday's pole sitter, Jacob there, had a phenomenal race, didn't he? He was dominating performance there from Jacob, and he is a very quick driver, isn't he? Over a single lap. He's in some of the races this year, he has tended to struggle, hasn't he? But yeah, but when he's on it, he is really on it, isn't he? Domination from Jacob there, out in front, literally no one could touch him. Sebastian Vettel-esque drive there from Jacob. Really impressive stuff yesterday. So yeah, fantastic win for Jacob. His 2nd win of the season. And can he get himself into that freeway fight, which is between Deneen, Vanquish, and also Jamie as well. Jamie has lost the lead again. The lead in the Elite League has changed so many times this season, hasn't it? It's been changing back and forth between Vanquish and Jamie, and now Vanquish is back in there as well. Vanquish has actually said, I think he was having a good old chat in the comments a couple of races ago actually, about. He was saying that he was on a very difficult season, but he's still leading the championship, isn't he? Just shows the phenomenal pace of the man known as Vanquish. Right, says we're almost ready to get going then, and I think, to be honest, I think I've actually started a bit early, so I'm actually on the ball for once. It's absolutely epic stuff then, indeed. So at the moment then, what about the qualifying form at the moment? Well, Jonathan Cox is definitely the man in the qualifying, isn't he? 5 pole positions so far this season. The next man is Asdog on 3. Jonathan Cox had pole positions in Spain, in Belgium, Austria, Hungary, and I think he's had somewhere else as well. France and Austria. And Hungary as well, so well done to Jonathan there. Of course, Asdog started off really well this season, didn't he? 2 pole positions in Australia and Bahrain before, and the last one was actually at Monaco as well for Asdog. And then we got Matt's on 2 pole positions. He had 1 in China, and then he also had 1 in Britain as well. And the other pole positions not that bad, of course. His race performances have been absolutely phenomenal this season. He's had in 10 starts. He has had 7 wins. He's had 9 podiums, 4 fastest laps. He's only had 1 DNF, which was in Monaco. That is a phenomenal strike rate, isn't it? Jonathan Cox, who's had 13 starts this season, has had 5 pole positions. He's had 4 wins and 7 podiums there. I think, of course, there's a couple of races where there might have been a couple of points that he's thrown away there for Jonathan, because he might be slightly closer. IRC Racing, of course, has been the man at the moment, hasn't he? Recently, he's had 2 wins, hasn't he? He's had 2 wins, hasn't he, IRC Racing, and that's come very recently as well, hasn't it? Both of the last 2 races are Germany and Hungary. Can he get a hat-trick here tonight to make it 3 wins? He's had 7 podiums as well, and 2 fastest laps. He's only had 1 DNF. Those are the top 3 at the moment. It's been a very impressive season, hasn't it, for those 3 guys who potentially could be going up to the Elite League next season, being promoted. of course, and which would be fantastic stuff. Where it'd be great to see him mixing in. Of course, we've already seen not that bad. Jonathan Cox dipped their toe into the water of the Elite League, haven't they? Jonathan had a great race in Bahrain. I think he finished 5th in the end, didn't he? Of course, that was a Saturday night special, wasn't it, earlier on the season, after we had a couple of glitches, didn't we, earlier on with the Formula 1 game, unfortunately. And of course, then not that bad drove in Silverstone just before he went on holiday, so I hope he had a good holiday, and he should be, and he is probably, I wonder if he's going to have a bit of race for us as well. You don't really want race for us around here, do you? Because you're going to be flying around this track at well over 200 miles an hour as anyway, enough about all the comments and stuff. Let's go in, shall we? Anyway, yeah. So look at this. We had a bit of rain, didn't we, in the start of qualifying that last night? No such luck at the moment. No such thing happening at the moment. It's all a bit dry out there at the moment. And we got 20 cars on this grid, and we are ready to get racing. As Dan Murphy has just said, Sean, I love you. He's also sent me a very interesting picture as well. Anyway, let's get racing, shall we? The 18 minutes has started now, and we will get going in just a few moments. I'm loving the fact how we've got 20 drivers on the grid. It's fantastic stuff, isn't it? Let's take a look at the runners and riders, shall we? We've got Harry out. We've got Harry in the McLaren. We've got RU Racing. We got Hogg. We got Hogg in the Racing Point. Physico in the Renault. I was going to say Jordan there because Jordan of course used to be the yellow cars, didn't they? Then we had JJ in the Haas. PB in the Alfa Romeo, because he stood in for not that bad, didn't he? Had some good races as well. PB. Asdog, of course, has had a very strong season, 4th at the moment, isn't he? Woody, of course, in the Ferrari alongside Jonathan Cox. Then we've got Dave in the Red Bull. Then we have Sven. Return for Sven then with Stio in 12 car at the moment. We go Penny, Brown, Matt, Snap, Timmy, Roscoe. Not that bad, and Double. As you can see then, Hogg is coming out of the pits then. Let's take a look at this magnificent Monza track then. Asdog is out on track at the moment. Who else is out there? We've got Timmy, who is on the start-finish rate at the moment. We've got Roscoe out there. Not that bad. I think it's the furthest around the track at the moment then. And, this is interesting, as Dan has accused me of being unprofessional, which... to be honest, he ain't far wrong. I don't think I've ever been professional. We have got torrential rain for the race. Oh my gosh, that is going to be incredible stuff, isn't it? So is that? It's going to. So really, that's going to really throw the cat amongst the pigeons, isn't it? Because they're going to have to. Of course, it's usually the lowest downforce you can possibly have. But in the rain, that's going to be crazy, isn't it? To have a low downforce car in the rear, you are not going to be able to get through the Ascara chicane. You're not going to be able to get through the first Lesmos either. The two Lesmos. Let's go on board. They were not that bad. The championship leader, his second season in IRC, has had a fantastic season, hasn't he, this time around? Of course, he was 3rd in the championship last season, and of course he was the bookmaker's favourite to win this season as well. And I'll tell you what, he's not proving them wrong, is he? As you can see, coming for the first chicane, exiting out nicely. Then you can see, looking at him going up the gears, then making sure that the revs are not over revving the car, then going into Curva Grande. Then this is going to be a frightening corner in the wet, isn't it, later on, if it is torrential rain out there. And Dave has also confirmed as well, it's going to be heavy rain for the whole race. Wow, that is going to be incredible stuff, isn't it? Is it going to have a Belgium-esque Grand Prix? Are we like them in the Elite League? That's going to be great. Into the first Lesmo here, then flicking it down to 5th gear, then not going too wide there, not that bad is, and then to the second Lesmo here. It's a bit more of a tighter angle there, running a bit wide on the AstroTurf there. 2 DRS zones. I don't think we're going to see him in the race then, so make the most of it in qualified. You can see now coming down and under the old bank, and then before they go into the Ascara chicane then. Did he cut the corner there? We had a big old smasher in 95, didn't we? Involving Montermini, Pedro Lamin. I think we also have Max Papis, who was also drawing the footwork. I'm sure he was replacing the Italian Gianni Morbidelli, who I think injured himself earlier on in the season. Morbidelli did. Of course, the last time we ever seen Gianni Morbidelli, of course, an Italian driver in his own right, was in the Sauber in 97 when he replaced, I think, his countryman Nicola Larini. Anyway, then it's not that bad. Did invalidate his time, so he's going to have to go around again. What about Roscoe? We're on board with Roscoe then, the Scotsman, as he comes up to the line now. So he's not going too far over the curve then onto the Parabolica, and he's done a 25.2 then in the and that's quickly eclipsed then by Asdog, who's done a 20.6 there in the Alfa Romeo. As as Dan has just thrown a lot of umbrellas up, a little present for us all. Oh no, that's Physico. Physico's gone, I think. We're on board. It's in the Ascari chicane. It's on the exit. Physico, who is Achilles heel this season, has been qualifying. Oh, what a shame there for Physico. He is out of the Grand Prix. He's going to have to start right from the back of the grid then for Physico. What a shame. What a shame indeed there for Physico. As we said earlier on, his racecraft has been phenomenal this season, but unfortunately qualifying hasn't been his forte. No, double there has just gone up in second. Oh, remember we just it's in on a secret earlier on. Are you racing is just quicker by 700ths of a second. Yeah, we double give enter in a little secret earlier on as Penny goes full fastest moment in the McLaren. That as Woody goes in 5th position, that he has gained half a second, hasn't he, just by tweaking the setup. But unfortunately that might come to nil later on if it's raining. Not that bad. Has done a time in a 22.6 at the moment. You can see these times are very much spread out at the moment. As the cars are coming up across the line then. Sven is out on track at the moment. He's on the back straight coming into the Parabolica now. And again, Dan Murphy has just said, and to be honest, rightfully so, that Fizzy will make it up in the race. He definitely will, because his racecraft has been phenomenal this season, hasn't it? Back on board Sven, he goes 7 fast a moment in the Haas. And Harry there is on the coming around the curve of Grande there. Look at this. There's some good shots right here. Comes Jonathan, the hometown hero. Special helmet for this racing event in the Ferrari. Well, an Italian driver driving the Ferrari. I think it's an absolute dream, isn't it? For Jonathan, I think he's definitely living the dream out there at the moment. And Snap there is that Roscoe's got Wolves to try there, and Snap almost got a bit of power there and had a bit of Snap oversteer, didn't he? And as Matt coming down the back straight then, can Matt get his third pole position of the season then? Can he tie second then with Ansdog? Jonathan Cox at the moment is aiming for a 6th pole position this season. Fantastic stuff, isn't it? Matt comes across the line and he is invalidated. Thomas going to have to go again. Remember, we're trying to lose 5 drivers. Well, before now, it's Physico, I think, is done for the day. Snap is on the hard compound tire at the moment, so he's I think just trying to get some laps under the belt, under his belt at the moment then. And I think that this is more of a warm-up lap really, just to see what the track conditions are like there. He pulls over to one side and he's just letting one of the Red Bulls through. We're on board then with Brown as he is coming into the first chicane a bit accelerated the way that nicely. I think he was taking a bit gingerly there, and that's not me taking the mick out of my hair colour there. And he's coming through the first lesson and I think, oh, look out, taking all the track and then some. Yellow flags in 2, don't worry, it's just the guys getting out of the way. You can see, oh, Toro Rosso or Alpha Torre, wonder if they're going to give each other a tow. If everyone remembers how can you forget the qualifying session that was the Italian Grand Prix 2019. Yeah, are we going to get some of that, say, with a tow? I don't think so. We might get something like that in the formation lap. So, as Dave and Snap have made a kind of a signature move, haven't they, to take this formation lap as slow as possible. So we might get something like that in the formation lap later on. I don't think we're going to get anything like that in the qualifying session themselves. Brown comes into the pit then, so he's not too happy with that. Matt comes across the lines on the medium compound tire. He goes 9th fast at the moment. And just slots in between Penny and Sven then in 9th position. And Hogg there is on the 2nd section now. He's coming for the first section. And what about Steve? Steve is on the 1st section. So let's stay with Hogg in the Racing Point course, formerly known as a Force India. Oh, that's very wide there from Hogg, and he is. Oh, he's almost. Wow, Howard, sir, brilliant stuff. The car was sneaking around there. He was like on a bucking ball there, and very much trying to keep that car in a straight and narrow. And he did a very good job there. Hogg did very well held. I tell you what, much better car control than I've got. I would have been in the wall. So very well held. He caught it like 2 or 3 times. So fair play to Hogg. Good stuff indeed then, of course. Then he is just coming in on in like there, and we got a Haas there in the background there of I think it's JJ, isn't it? It is JJ. Let's go on board JJ then, as Hogg is going around again then. So JJ's got some slipstream here, and look at this, that is he's flying from out underneath the rear wing of Hogg, and he is going to and he's just carrying on there. Steve is hugging the inside line, and he goes fast on a 20.5. Good time there from Steve. I tell you what, he has the pace this season, and I think he's a bit unlucky. I don't think his championship position is really really fair on what he's done this season, Steve. I think he's just been very unlucky there. I tell you, look at the talented drivers in this field. This is going to be fantastic, isn't it? Who's going to be the 4 drivers that go now? Unfortunately, Fisico is still in qualified technically, even though because he didn't get back to the pits on his own steam. That is it. He is done and dusted. But well, he's in 50th at the moment, so we might lose 6 cars in this first section. So I think you've just got to set a time on the board, don't you? We're on board John Cook said, as we said, the hometown hero. Then car 25, and this is coming down the back straight now. And you can see then where's he going to hit it? There he is. He hits the oh, and Steve is gone. Steve is gone as well. That's a big blow for Steve. And where has he gone? Just taking a quick look out there, and that is a huge. Jonathan's gone fastest, but where is Steve gone? Just taking a quick look. I wonder if it's the. Oh, I think it's in the Lesmos. It's in the first Lesmo. On board with Harry. Let's take a look. Is it where Hamilton smashed up? It is. It is. Steve is out of qualifying. I almost swallowed my tongue again. I really need to learn to breathe. Harry then. I'm sorry. Steve is out of qualifying. That is a big blow indeed. So we've lost 2 cars already. One in the Ascara chicane. One in the first Lesmo, just the exit of the first Lesmo. Wow, what a shocking turn of events this is. Snapper needs to get in, needs to improve that time if he wants to get into Q2 at the moment, because I think they do it by percentage, don't they? And in terms of, I'm not sure, because at the moment you see he's out. At the moment Snapper's not in qualifying. Currently, so remember, 16th and lower, you will be out of qualifying. Both Renaults are really looking a bit vulnerable at the moment, isn't he? Snap, of course, is still on track, and he still has plenty to offer us. And he's done 3 laps on these hard tires with 7 minutes to go. He's been out there just pounding around, trying to get some experience. And Brown there has already been out there, so this is the second set of tires then for Brown then. So of course his first attempt there wasn't too impressive. Oh, did he cut the first corner there? That wouldn't have been too good either. You know, the 107% rule, I think that Murphy might have been spot on there. It might have been the 107% rule between if you of course the 107% rule is applied in the first qualifying session, isn't it? Which I'm not sure if it's actually affecting this game, but I think in terms of someone retires, do you have to get within 107% of that time? It looks like it to me, doesn't it? Because as you can tell there, Snap is at 5 seconds off the pace. That's approximately 107%, isn't it? Approximately. I don't know. Of course, they introduced the 107% rule back in 1996, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was in 1996. Of course, they had a big old shake-up of the rules, didn't they, that year? Of course, Damon Hill won his well-known championship in 96. Well, I really enjoyed that season. It was good. And Brown there, look at that, he's got a floaty rear end, and that's going to be a bit of a difficult car to drive come race day, which is actually later on. So fantastic stuff indeed. We're on board. Brown is coming down the parabolica then. And yeah, 96 there, all sorts of rules. Of course, they introduced driver numbers, didn't they? Instead of, oh, look at that, the back end stepping out there in the final parabolica, and he's back in the pit. So that's another set of tires then wasted then from Brown then. As Snap is still out there on track at the moment. We're just keeping an eye on Snap then, as he is out of qualifying at the moment then. And, well, Murphy has retracted his message. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he just wanted me to say it, so it looked like yeah. As Snap there just slowing right down there at the I think, is he sandbagging there, Snappers? Well, at the moment he might need to start thinking about getting a shift on out there, because time is starting to tick on, isn't it? Sven there is at 9 tenths of a second up there, so here comes Sven then, and he's in a 21.7 then, and yeah. I think 129 is on the edge of 107% rule, so yeah, then 107% rule at all then. Never mind. Yeah, I just wanted to know why Snap was behind Steve, because of course Steve is out qualifying, but yet Snap is not in front of him, is he? Because Steve dropped right down there to a 15th position. I don't know. But anyway, carrying on my very uninteresting story, which everyone's probably going to be bored to death, but I like to say it anyway. Yeah, of course in 96 then, of course they introduced numbers, didn't they? Of course the numbers actually corresponded in terms of the constructors, didn't it? So of course if you finish first in the constructors, well, yeah, if you're a world champion you get 1 and 2, but then if you finished, then they did go by, depend on the constructors finish, didn't it? So of course in 96 we had Ferrari 1 and 2, didn't we? Because Schumacher won the title. Then 3 and 4 was actually Benetton, wasn't it? As they won the constructors. So it was Alesi and Berger that year. Then Williams was 5 and 6. So yeah, and of course Damon Hill won that race. Then we had 1 and 2 on the arrows, didn't we? With Hill and Pedro Diniz. I must admit, I do like a good number, chat. So you can see coming through the first lesmo now is Dave. He is in the Red Bull, then attacking the second lesmo now. Time is starting to really tick down now. We've only got 4 minutes to go. This is getting really, really tense indeed then. And we've got Senny Larson's are saying, are you racing for pole position? Now that's a good bet I like to see, because Are You Racing's already got pole position, and Dave Bear almost there, having a bit of a almost facing the wrong way there, almost did a physical. Then we've got yellow flag in one as well. As now he comes into the parabolica for the for his final part of the lap. Then it accelerates away now nicely, and what does he do then? Dave comes across the line, and he's doing a 21 there. That should be safe. That is safe indeed there for Dave. Remember, it's we're losing the last 6 cars. Hogg comes out on a lap now. Snap is still 6 laps on those hard tyres. He's only got 3 minutes to go. I wonder if he might think about coming in the pits then. Hogg there is just start lap now then. So let's see what Hogg can do in the Racing Point. Tyre RT was very lucky to still be. Oh, did he cut the first corner there? It's getting very, very tasty out there now, isn't it? As we're on board with Hogg then. Let's enjoy this. Let's enjoy this roller coaster ride then. And Lurson says, yeah, but I think he will improve. I think. Yeah, definitely. Are You Racing? I tell you what, he had a phenomenal 2 races, didn't he, in Germany and Hungary. Of course, he got pole position in Germany as well. It was a really good race. I really enjoyed that. And Brown is out. Brown is done. He is down. Brown is down, and that's it. He is done and dusted. And I think 5 place grid penalty there for Dave. What's going on here? Dave is gone. Dave is gone as well. There's all sorts going on here. Snap is out. Snap is out. What is going on? There's chaos all over the place at the moment. We're on board with Hogg, who's 6 tenths of a second up in the second sector, just on board then. I wonder if it's in the Lesmos. So just taking a quick look. Oh, it's we've got yellow flags there. And this is, oh no, David's off the track. That's a Toro Rosso as well. That's going into the second chicane there. Of course, they had a big smash there in 2000. Wow, what is going on here then? So we have lost Steve, we have lost Dave, Snap, Physico, and Brown already in this qualifying session. Harry then going on the edge of the limit there and beyond. Hogg has gone into 30th position. Nicely done for Hogg then. So he's through. Steve is out of the mountain. So is BP. PB. Sorry. Because BP races on Wednesday nights, doesn't he? PB races tonight. He needs to start to think about getting a shift on. And talking about getting a shift, we have lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drivers. Then so we've lost 5 drivers then in this incredible qualifying session. Is this well, this is definitely throwing a cat amongst the pigeons, hasn't it? Wow. And I can't believe that. Brown then, who hasn't set a time, he'll be 20th. Physico will be 18th. Snap with 17th. Dave and Steo 15th and 14th. The question is, what can Penny do? We're on board Penny now in the McLaren, and of course he used to drive for the Sauber team, didn't he, last season before they transformed into the Alfa Romeo. PB, I think it's going to be out qualifying. He needs to get out. He is still in the pits, and so PB it's decided not to make an appearance in qualifying, but hopefully we'll see him in the race. Maybe he has actually gone a full-blown wet setup then. And he feels that there's no point in qualifying. Well, still though, I think PB should have come out there and made an appearance, because he would have got through, wouldn't he? You don't really want to start on the back row of the grid in heavy rain conditions. I'm really looking forward to these heavy rain conditions. Really getting really excited. And what about Steve? Here comes Steve, and he has invalidated his time, has he? No, he hasn't. Oh well, he was he's slower, isn't he? So Steve is still out of qualifying. Then we only got 13 cars for Q2 as it stands. What can Steve do? So look at that lovely apex of turn 1 and 2, and then accelerating away. Oh, he's got into the grass a bit there, hasn't he? Accelerates away now. Nice. We've got yellow flag floating around in 2 then, as you can see, coming through Curva Grande, and you can see that that's going to be a frightening corner later on in the wet, isn't it? Currently, Jonathan Cox is sitting atop of the pile at the moment. He's on his top perch, and Penny there bouncing across it. He's on the gravel. That is it. That is his time ruined. Penny is out of qualifying. He took too much curve there, and on the second, and that is a shame there for Penny. And he is in the wall. I think there was a lot of frustration there from Penny as well. We have lost Brown. We have lost BP. PB. We have lost Physico, Snap, Steve, Penny, Dave and Steo. So the grid then from back to front so far is Brown and PB is on the last row of the grid. So that's row 10. Row 9 is the both Renault drivers, the Snap and Physico. Row 8 is the Dave and Penny, and then Steve is on row 7. Well, I tell you what, that was an interesting qualifying session, wasn't it? It's all gone alright at the moment, hasn't it? Look at the top of the time sheet, and Are You Racing is only 2 tenths of a second away at the moment. Not that bad. It's only 6 at the moment. Do we need to? Are we reading into that too much? perhaps. But yeah, not that bad. Might have a bit of a race rest, of course. He has been enjoying the sights and sounds on his holiday, and we're just watching Harry come back to the pits. Then we've got 13 cars that is getting ready for Q2 in just a few moments' time. Where we're only going to have 13 cars, so we're going to lose 3 drivers from that qualifying session. Who are they going to be? Remember, the tyre strategy goes all the way. It goes completely out the window now, though, doesn't it? Because of the rain that's coming. Well, yeah, the rain is coming in the race. And we're just watching Harry now, who's I think he's having a lap of honour, isn't he, around Monza? So taking Monza more leisurely pace, and more like the driver. It's more like a driver's parade, isn't it? But with F1 cars rather than classic cars. And he sees on the back straight now. Then I'm wondering if this is his track. Well, it's more of his like track guide, isn't it? Just seeing where to brake and where all the markers are and things like. Of course, the drivers usually use the polystyrene boards, don't they? So he went to brake, of course, just before the 50-meter board, wasn't it? Someone was braking on qualifying there last night. I think it was Jacob. That is scary, isn't it? Braking it, coming up to over 200 miles an hour and braking just before 50 meters. Of course, parabolic is not exactly a slow corner, though, is it? But scary, isn't it? And as we said last night, the best podium of the season, this Monza podium. Of course, Jonathan Cox would love to be on the podium, as will the other 19 drivers then. But it's going to be action-packed from start to finish, isn't it, in the race later on. Of course, we've had a couple of wet races in Monza, haven't we? 2008, of course, where Vettel got his first ever pole position and his first ever race win, and that is Toro Rosso's one and only race win as well, which also includes the time when the team was called Minardi. And of course, they're now going to be called AlphaTauri next season as well. So you can tell that I'm quite excited about a name change, as I've mentioned that several times already. So unfortunately, the story of that session has been the retirements, hasn't it? Dave also gets a 5-place grid penalty as well, so he's been a very naughty boy in this session, and he is going to be dropping 5 places. So that is basically going to put him at the back of the grid. Brown is 20th, 19th is PB, 18th is Physico, Snap 17th, 16th is Penny, Dave is 15th, and Studio is 14th. I think Dave is actually on the back. It's going to be last then. And as we're now getting ready into Q2. And Murphy said, so Alpha and Alpha on the grid next season. Yes, as we said earlier on the programme, it's basically like having 2 Lotuses come and go, isn't it? Of course, in 2012, we basically had 2 Lotus teams, didn't we? Of course, Renault Lotus and Lotus Caterham. So it was basically similar to that, isn't it? So Crofty's got to get tongue-tied, isn't he, next season? That's going to be good to hear. But what we're going to do now is what is good to see, though, is we are in Q2 now, and we're 20 seconds into the session now. And Jonathan Cox there is wasting absolutely no time in getting out of the pits there. He's not interested in waiting around, is he? So he is out there straight away, and he's on the soft compound tyre. I have a feeling that we ain't going to see much. We ain't going to see much of a strategy in this race, but in this one, because it's just going to be just trying to get through the Q3 and not worry about the not worry about the strategy, because it's going to be a full wet race tomorrow, isn't it? And Nosey has just thrown in, of course, Nosey, the champion of last season 5 champion. Nosey was what are Toro Rosso renaming themselves? I missed it. Oh yeah. It was AlphaTauri, just in case anyone missed it. Yes, so the Toro Rosso team are now going to be called AlphaTauri. The question is about the driver lineup next season. I think that's probably more important, isn't it? Who is going to be in the AlphaTauri for next season? So really, that's going to be interesting. I think that probably the consensus is going to probably be Gasly and Fiat, isn't it? Because I think Albon's done a fantastic driver, hasn't he, in the Red Bull? Well, maybe fantastic is probably a bit of an overstatement, isn't it? He's done a good job, hasn't he, Alex Albon? In the Red Bull. I do feel maybe I'm being a bit harsh, but I feel that's a seat wasted in it. I would rather probably see I'm a big Hulkenberg fan. I would love to have seen Hulkenberg in the Red Bull. Obviously that would never happen, and that's kind of my that's me living in dreamland. But yeah, I do like Hulkenberg, and I feel that that's one talent that probably could have and should have had a better go at Formula 1 there. But you can say that about a lot of drivers, really, can't you? A lot of it's like Gilles Villeneuve. I think he probably should have been champion. Just looking at some of the footage when he raced back in the late 70s and early 80s, he was a phenomenal driver, wasn't he? And also, and of course, Gilles Villeneuve is synonymous with the Ferrari, isn't it? Remember, I think it was back in the Zolder, wasn't it, where he was driving with a wheel hanging off. Brilliant stuff. And then his brilliant battle with in the French Grand Prix. I think it was 78, wasn't it? In Dijon, I think, in the French Grand Prix. I think it was against Arnoux, wasn't it? And it was definitely against the Red Bull. They were banging wheels and all sorts. That's the kind of racing you want, isn't it? It was fantastic stuff. Yeah, I think that's one of my earliest and favourite memories of Formula 1. And you can see we're on board there with Jonathan Cox there. He's driving this in the same team as Gilles Villeneuve, and this is the Ferrari right now. You can see coming into the Ascari chicane and just flying out of it nicely then. As Dan Murphy just said, Crofty gets tongue-tied with his own name. Also, North, he said, does anyone know what Toros has renamed themselves for 2020? And Murphy has also said, bring me, and I'll tell you about the Forester accent. Jonathan Cox goes into a 19.8 there for Jonathan, so fantastic time. Oh no, that's East gone. East is out. Timmy is out as well. This is the big blow. They're on board there with Matt then, and this is a massive shame. It's in the Lesbos. That is JJ gone. So JJ is out of qualifying, and Timmy is out as well. So we're going to lose. We have already lost 2 cars in this race. In this qualifying session. This is absolutely this qualifying session is claiming all sorts of drivers, isn't it? Timmy is at the Ascari chicane. There he is. Oh, and he's right back there, having to take evasive action there as well. Incredible stuff here in qualifying. We have, well, I think we've lost like 6-7 cars, haven't we? This is incredible stuff. And now we've lost another 2. Wow, that's almost half the grid that has gone already in this qualifying. Harry's gone second. RU racing third. Matt is in 4th position, and 5th position is Woody at the moment. Hogg is on track on the medium tyres, as is Asdog at the moment. Asdog is on, and Sven is on the out at the moment. Asdog is in the Lesmo, in the first Lesmo now, coming through into the second Lesmo now. And Tamara just said, lol JJ. Larson says an AlphaTauri, I think, and just tuned in to see where he was at. Well, unfortunately, he's in the wall, JJ. At the halfway in between the left one, so that's a shame there for JJ, isn't it? In the Haas, so yeah, so he will not take part in any qualifying session. We've got another yellow flag in 2. Tell you what, this is a bit of an old style track, isn't it? So if you're going to go off, you're going to go off in a big way, aren't you? So yeah, well, what a shame then, it really is. And Asdog there coming across the line, we see a Ferrari coming in the pit. Says Asdog comes across the line, and he goes 5th fastest on the medium compound tire at the moment. Hogg is on the back straight at the moment, coming into the parabolic. And look, there's McLaren in the background of Harry, who is 2nd at the moment. He's doing a very good job indeed. Then as Hogg then coming and then powering up to the line. Then let's see what he can do. Then you can see he's hitting 7th gear now. He's into 8th there. Look at that, almost 200 miles an hour. He will reach 200. Well, we had 220 miles an hour last night, didn't we? Fantastic stuff. You can see Hogg there is not going to reach those limits because I think he's on a setup which is more akin to the wet weather conditions which are going to get later on in this race. Remember, the 2008 Italian Grand Prix was fully wet, wasn't it? I think they got into inters. Well, they was on the intermediate tyres, or they were called wets back then. There was extreme wets and wets. So yeah, they were on the intermediate tyres towards the end of that race, wasn't he? Of course, Vettel did a great job. Did a great job that day as well. As a Hogg there going very wide then in the first chicane, and he's pulled out of that lap, and that's him done. Let's take a look at the championship leader. Not that bad. He is in the Mercedes, and this is his first race in over a couple of weeks. So yeah, he's got to brush off the rust, hasn't he, and get on it. And you can see then he's going to be a very tough race, isn't it? So we come back to the race and potentially having an absolutely awful weather tomorrow later on. It's going to be really look forward to it, as you can probably hear. Absolutely fantastic stuff. I'm trying to think of any other wet Monza Grand Prix. I think we had a damp one in 2004, didn't we? The start was damp, but I don't think, but it wasn't raining, was it? I don't really think there was any other Monza wet Italian Grand Prix. So I'm just quickly going through them in my head. I can't think of any. Hopefully someone can help me out in the comments here. I'm sure there's another wet Monza Grand Prix. I just can't think of when it was. Yeah. as just on board there, but not that bad then as he flies across. I know we had a very wet qualifying session, didn't we, here in 2017? Of course, Grosjean just aquaplayed off the road there, and Stroll got a very good third position, didn't he, in the Williams that season? Of course, Stroll, I must admit, Stroll does it. He's got a good old touch in the wet, hasn't he? And he comes over across the line now. And Davis just apologised to Brown as not a bad goes second on the medium tyres. Davis just apologised to Brown because it was absolutely. I think that was absolutely his fault there. Dave was saying that. So that's it's a shame there for as we've lost 2 drivers there in the first qualifying session, and we're on board with Roscoe. He goes up into the 6th fast moment. We're aiming to lose. Well, we've lost 2 cars already. Who is going to be the final person? Who is going to take the walk of shame then in this qualifying session? We've got 7 minutes to find out. So who will it be then? At the moment then it's double. We have lost JJ and Timmy, who are not set times because they're out qualifying already. Double is just started his lap now, and Tomas also said Brown out too. Yeah, that's a big shame. Of course, Davis just admitted that it was his fault, and it looks like they come together in the second chicane there, which is a big blow, wasn't it? Here comes car 12. Hoggy's on the back straight now. Let's just go back on board the racing point driver, and you can see then. Look at that brake in, incredibly late into the parabolic, and they're chucking it in there, and now accelerating through onto the apex. Then now you can see they're not taking too much curvature, and he is in the pits, and you've got to slow down. Well, Hogg is not interested in slowing down at all for the pit lane. He's flying in there, towing and flying. Here comes Double there is on the first left without not taking too much curve there, almost cutting the bit of the grass, and in the second left one now, and he's going very wide in the second left one, much more attacking there. Dave said he was on it. He was on my in lap, not paying attention, and Brown hit the back of me when I was in the way. Snap crashed out in sympathy. So, well, that's a shame there for Dave, isn't it? That's a big shame there for Brown. Wow. And yeah, we had it. We went when we got to the second chain. It was chaos, wasn't it? And here comes Double then. Now flies into the final parabolica then. And now then, what's he going to do? You can see, look at them stamping on the throttle just over the halfway through the corner then. And what's he going to do? He comes into the line now, Double is, and he's gone 10th for the road. He's knocked Hogg out. So that our top 10 in the shootout, which is coming up in just over 5 minutes time. Jonathan is not that bad. Harry, Matt, are you? Roscoe, Asdog, Woody, Sven, and Double. Fantastic. Now, Hogg is just in the pit lane, gathering his thoughts there at the moment. This is not done and dusted, not by a long shot. I think anyone in the 22s is going to have to go out there again, surely. They ain't going to feel safe, are they? Because this track, look at this, Double's already 3/10 of a second up in the first sector. That make that 3.5 tenths out for Double. Look at that again. He's really fighting the car there. This race is really good, isn't it? For watching the cars, really watching the drivers fight the cars. Unfortunately, we ain't going to see much of that though, are we? Because of I think we are going to see actually because of the wet weather. But yeah, we ain't going to see the cars really at their absolute peak performance because of the wet weather. A lot of drivers, a lovely shot there. A lot of the drivers will of course put on a wet weather set when they. Double is a 10th of a second up in the second sector. He's lost a lot of time, but remember that is without errors there, so Double can go a lot quicker than this. So really, Double is going to sneak onto the back of Woody and Sven there. And I wonder, Asdog might be safer. So I think it's Woody, Sven, Double, and Hogg. We got a quadruple shootout at the moment. I think IRC Racing is just stuck up to second position. He has indeed there. He's 9/10 of a second quicker. Oh, this is getting very good indeed, isn't it? And Double now comes across. No, he's in the pits there. So Double there, he's going to get on a new set of boots, and he's going to have another crack at this now. IRC Racing on a very good time there as well. You can see it's getting very overcast out there. I think the guys might have to. We'll have to keep an eye on the weather. Of course, he's definitely got heavy rain in the race. Well, I say definitely. The weather forecast could be absolutely wrong, which I think it's only ever been wrong once. I think my time here. I think Jonathan was. I think we was relying on Jonathan, who was saying it was dry, and then of course we had a sprinkling of rain, didn't we, in Germany? Which I think cost Jonathan pole position, but this man was there to pounce, wasn't he? And he got pole position in Germany, which fantastic pole position as well. So then Sven is out on track then, so he starts his lap coming for Kerber Grande then. Look in the top left hand corner, that clock is now starting to tick quicker, isn't it? Of course every minute is exactly the same, but it doesn't feel like it's just ticking quicker and quicker. And Sven is 6/10 of a second down. He's on the pole in first sector there. That's not very good at all there. Welcome to all the guys that have joined us, everyone that's watching us right now. Fantastic to have your company here tonight on a very wet Thursday. I must admit, it's absolutely raining out there, absolutely pelting it down out there, and we're going to have a bit of rain here in Monza as well. So yeah, this is gonna be very interesting indeed, isn't it? And Jonathan said it's right, chucking it down. So yeah, Jonathan just confirming it is chucking it down. I'm not sure if he means outside or on the game. Well, it's definitely chucking it down. Both he will be chucking it down on the game and outside. But yeah, so I must admit, sometime I think the weather is 9 till 10 right on this game. It would be better if the weather was not always right, because I think that would just throw in the mix, wouldn't it? Be interesting. And Steve Penny is really looking forward to a wet race with a sad face, and my internet's lagging brilliant. So Penny there is not on a good start there to his Monza event, but of course the points are not won in the qualifying, they're won in the race. And that's going to be the beauty of the moment. Aston is staying in the pits, and remember, we are going to lose one driver in this. We've already lost JJ and Timmy, unfortunately, and we lost another 6-7 cars in the first qualifying session, didn't we? And now then, as Hog there comes through the Ascara chicane and coming down the back straight now then, because no DRS in this back straight. There'll be no DRS if it's raining tomorrow as well. Of course, that just means it's just unsafe. Matt pops himself up in the third at the moment, so Matt should be free. I think this is going to be a good old duel at the moment. Woody is still in the pits at the moment, so he is the coolest cucumber in the gang today. Hog goes up in the 10th position there, so he's displaced Donovan by 300ths of a second, and this is getting very tight indeed. Sven is at another appalling first sector by looks. He's 0.3 of a second down. Sven is really struggling to get the best out of the Haas at the moment. He is still in qualifying, and now he's 0.4 of a second down as well. So Sven is really struggling is there at the moment. So this is getting very tense indeed. Double comes across the start finish straight and has gonna have a go on another lap now. And we got a very slow Mercedes out on track at the moment. I think that's not that bad, just cruising. Well, it's Hog then. So Hog there, I think it's just on an in lap then. Double's on that, but what about Sven? And he's 0.4 of a second down. He comes through the final corner. He's in the pits. So Sven is done. He ain't going to be able to get back out in time. So Sven is not done. Woody is still out on track at the moment then. And Woody is still in the pits as well at the moment. Hog is just coming back. I think that Hog might be able to go again there. So Double, can't let Double get himself back in. He's 300 of a second out at the moment then. It's all eyes are on Double and Hog now then. Can't those two... So I think Woody should make it through now. So it's going to be, I think, Sven, Hog and Double. Who's going to be the man that's going to not make it through then? It's going to get very, very tense indeed, isn't it? As we come into the final stage. Look at that. That's 0.7 of a second up. Double is. That's a phenomenal second sector there from the Williams driver then. And he is going like a rocket then. Now coming on to the back straight then. You can see yellow flags are fluttering in 1 and 2 then. Hopefully it's just someone getting out of the way there. We don't want to lose any more drivers. And now they're coming down the parabolica then. Here comes Double throwing it in there, and you can see them accelerating away now nicely then. So what's his time going to be? Let's just take a look. Is he going to get into time? He has done. That's a cracking time for Double. He is through and into Q3. Fantastic stuff from Double. That means we have lost Hog, JJ and Timmy. They are all out of qualifying, unfortunately. Good luck there for Double. He was he threatened that, didn't he, on his last lap? Remember, that was his in lap as well, where he was really quick. Not that bad as on track at the moment. Also Roscoe is as well. I think Roscoe is on an in lap, so let's keep an eye on not that bad. The championship leader, he's got a 50-point lead in the championship, hasn't he? He's missed the last 3 races. Not that bad has. And remember that the momentum is with RU Racing and Jonathan at the moment. Not that bad. Get himself back into racing trim. That is the question here today, and what a difficult race it's going to be in the wet. Really looking forward to this as well. Dave just said go Double. It was a fantastic lap from Double. It really was. And of course Double is definitely showing that he has got the setup absolutely spot on. Remember, Double is a setup genius, isn't he? Really, because I think that he just absolutely gets the most. I think that I must admit I pitched this setup once or twice. His setups in the race is absolutely it's so stable. Double setups are, and he's definitely one of those guys that really tinkers with the car, doesn't he? And of course very much Schumacher-esque, isn't he, in terms of. Well, I think I heard a whisper that Schumacher wasn't very good at setting up cars. It was more that Eddie Irvine was the better man at setting up the Ferraris, wasn't he? But yeah, I think Niki Lauda was definitely one of the setup geniuses, wasn't he? In the 80s, definitely very methodical, wasn't he? Double is in the pits, and so that is the end of Q2. We have lost Timmy and JJ. They didn't set a time, and unfortunately we lost Hog as well there. It was very close in the end, but Double there, he did show earlier on that he was going to improve by quite a considerable margin then. And so then that's it for the track action for Q2. We're going to go to Q3 in just a few moments. Excuse me, as I was just wetting my whistle. Right then, as we're just having a takedown then, and yep, we're now into Q3 then. And you can see then Timmy is out, also JJ and Hog is out as well. Into Q3, here are the gladiators that is going to go for pole position. We've got Jonathan, RU Racing and Matt. All those first three guys have got pole position this season. Roscoe hasn't got a pole yet, I don't think, has he? I don't think he has. No, he hasn't, not yet. Can Roscoe get a pole position? Not that bad, he's got a pole. Harry hasn't. Dog has got 3 pole positions. What about Double? What about Woody and Sven? This is going to be fantastic, isn't it? Those top 10 are going to go for pole position. That Murphy said, I think Prost was one of the ones when Prost won was the best out car. The man won a race going as slow as possible. That is very true indeed. I forgot about Prost. Of course, he was the professor, wasn't he? Alan Prost was, yeah. He was definitely what he fine-tuned that car, didn't he, to go the race distance at probably the slowest race possible. But it was always there, wasn't he? So Alan Prost was there, as we said, the professor. When him and Senna, 2 complete opposite characters, wasn't he? Senna was a fierce racer, wasn't he? And Prost was definitely more, as he said, the professor, really more tweaky. Tim Butler just said, "Don't have cats; they put you off." So I think that's probably answered our question of why Tim had a bit of an issue there in Q2. I've just had a message saying my Fitbit is low on power. Well, that's alright, because I don't use it. As now and then, as they come out of the pit lane, Asdog is the first man out, so Jonathan is usually the first man out. So don't think he's going to be. Jonathan, you'd like to be first one. Look at those shiny, soft compound tyres, and I love the sheen of these soft tyres. The sheen of the new tyres is brilliant stuff as well. Now then, so Jonathan coming from Curva Grande then. So who's going to get pole position? That's what I'd like to hear. I'd like to know who is going to get pole position then for the Italian Grand Prix round 14. Is it going to be are we going to have a new pole sitter? That's going to be the question. Can Harry get on pole position? Can Woody? What about Sven? What about Roscoe? What about Double? Can anyone of those 5 get on pole position, or is it going to be Jonathan getting his 6th pole position of the season? Is it going to be Asdog getting his 4th pole position of the season? What about Matt with his 3rd pole position of the season? Double, sorry, not that bad. Might get his 2nd pole this season. It's going to be very good indeed. And of course, Ari Racing, can he get his 2nd pole position of the season? A lot of questions need to be answered, and Larson has thrown in his opinion already. He reckons Ari Racing, and who can bet against Ari Racing? It's going to be phenomenal stuff, isn't it? It's going to be a good duel, isn't it, between all 10 drivers then. And Jonathan Cox is going to be the first man to throw the gauntlet down. So here we go then, 10 minutes to go then. Let's go on board, Jonathan. These cars are going to be absolutely peaked now. And here he is, we're on board then with the British Italian racer. 20 minutes, he used to live 20 minutes away from this Monza track. Of course, visited it in 98 and 2004. You can see them break it. Look at that, that was an absolutely inch perfect first corner. Brilliant stuff indeed. Accelerating the way down, coming up to Curva Grande. This corner, as I keep saying, is going to be fearsome in the wet later on. And of course, we haven't got long to the race now. Of course, I must admit, I do enjoy the racing. The qualifying is fantastic as well, though, isn't it? Because it just shows the absolute the cars that. Oh, and Jonathan's made a mistake. He's put a wheel on the grass. He's put his left front on the grass. That is going to lose him a bit of momentum now. He's in the first Lesmo there, then not taking too much curb bend. Well, but the second Lesmo, let's take back on board with him now, and much tighter indeed then. And the suspension gets worked really hard around here, doesn't it? Now going under the old bank in there, and you can see then now he rises back up to the Ascar chicane, and you can see breaking down to 6th gear then, taking a lot of curve there for Jonathan there, and you can see very much towards almost all the track and then some. And you can see that, and I think he's backed off because I think he cut the first corner, the first part of the Ascar chicane there. Jonathan there, a bit of a scrappy lap there, especially in the second sector. Now we're watching Ansdog, then we're taking over from Ansdog, who was right behind Jonathan then. So he comes through the final parabolica. I keep saying the final parabolica, there's only one, isn't there? Now Ansdog then comes across the line, he's done a 20.2 so far. Harry there is on the lap at the moment. What about Artie Racing then? He is on 3rd on track at the moment. Sven there goes second fast at the moment on 21.9 in the Haas. Good stuff indeed then from Sven there. We're on board with Matt then at the moment. Roscoe's still in the pits, and the Double is out on track at the moment, but not that bad on a 20.1 so far. He's a 10th of a second in front of Asdog at the moment. And T Sammy there is just thrown his we'll read out his comment in just a few moments, because I think there's Mattis is coming across the line now. We'll read out his comment in a minute, because I think we're going to have a bit of a lull in this session. And Matt then comes across the line. He goes third fastest there at the moment in the Toro Rosso. Harry is on the back straight line. Are You Racing is coming through now. Are You Racing in? Can he get into the 90? So no, I think it's a bit of a disappointing first lap for Are You Racing, so he's going to go again. He's cut the corner somewhere. Harry then coming across the... Oh, he's gone very wide there into the parabolica. He's not going to gain any time out there, unfortunately. He's going to have a bit of rubbish on his tyres now, but he goes fifth fastest at the moment, the McLaren driver. Are You Racing is starting again. What about Double then? He's on the back straight as well. Look at the Alfa Romeo in the background then. And now Double then coming through the parabolica then. Look at this then. You can see we're on board the Rocket Williams then. And he comes up to the line now. What does Double do? Because Double's been in the Q3 for quite a number of sessions this season. He goes sixth fastest at the moment. Are You Racing then is on the lap then. You can see, look at a lovely shot here with the steering wheel. Look at how much he works it. Look at this. He's even tweaking, and he's also both Are You Racing and Jonathan there hasn't set times then in this opening round then for pole position, for this fight for pole position here in Monza. Are You Racing then? So he'll be coming back to the pits then, I think, and putting on a new fresher boot, new tires. As Sven then, sorry, it's not Sven, is that T Sammy has just said, I always ask for a wet race in the Elite League, but it never rains. And then the next day in Super, it's a wet race. I might have to switch between the two leagues. Hello, commentator. Hello, T Sammy. I hope you're enjoying the coverage today. Fantastic to have you alongside us, and watching this race today. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fantastic race. Of course, I think you missed the Belgian Grand Prix, didn't you, T Sammy? I tell you what, I think Elite League had enough of the wet after that race. That was an incredible race. We had a safety car because it rained too heavily. That was phenomenal. I must admit, I still get excited about that every single time I mention it. Brilliant. We got 7 cars who've made a time so far. Are You Racing, Jonathan and Roscoe haven't made times just yet. Then Are You Racing accelerating out of turn 1 now then. So then here he goes, and this is his second lap on these soft compound tires. Third lap in total. Of course, he has to have an out lap as well on board there with Are You Racing. Now let's see what's how is he going to have the confidence? Let's go. He's 26-1 in the first section there. Very nicely done indeed. Don't run too wide there. Jonathan Cox dipped his outside front left on the gravel there. Lost all kinds of momentum, but I think the biggest mistake was at the Ascara chicane. Are You Racing is coming to it now then. You can see them coming into the second. Of course, this is the shortest track in terms of time this season, so we are expecting quite a relatively quick race tomorrow. Well, we were expecting a relatively quick race tomorrow. I don't think that's going to be the case now. The wet is going to slow these cars down quite a bit. And Are You Racing, they're very close to cutting the Ascara chicane there. Accelerates out now on the back straight, and he's now just got 1 corner to go. The fearsome parabolica there, of course. Then and let's see what he could do then. And he just brakes there, just drops down to 4th gear momentarily before going back into 5th gear. And you can see taking on Billy AstroTurf there. Now here he is, and he's reaching for the line. This is a good lap indeed. That's a very good lap indeed. 4 tenths per second in front, not that bad. And that is brilliant stuff there. As Jonathan Cox is gone, he is out. He is out of qualifying. That's a big blow for Jonathan. The British-Italian driver has gone into, I think it's in the Ascara chicane. We're on board with Sven at the moment. And wow, that is a big development. Jonathan Cox is going for 6 pole positions this season. That is not going to be the case anymore. And he is out of the qualifying session. He is going to start 9th at the very maximum at the moment. Let's just go on board Sven then. You can see then, I think it was at the Ascara chicane. We did have flags floating around. Wow. So that is a major development here then in the Italian Grand Prix then. So the hometown hero is gone in this qualifying session with just under 4 minutes to go. Whoa, what a shame there for Jonathan there. And he will be starting at least 9th position then. And he just mentioned in the commentary crash there. Wow. So that's a shock, isn't it? Because Jonathan was definitely one of the front runners to think about getting pole position here this afternoon. So who is it going to be then? So we've got still 9 cars out there. There's going to be jousting for pole position. Let's watch Sven then. So he comes through the Curva Grande and he is 8th at the moment, Sven is. And Double has retired as well. And it's Double, I think, is he retired in the pits, has he? I'm not sure. Hopefully he's retired in the pits there, but I'm quite surprised if Double's retired already. He does like to have a lot of track time, doesn't he, Double? So even if he doesn't have any fresh tires out there, he could have potentially improved. But well, that's a shame that we've lost Double as well. So we have lost So we have also lost then, we've lost Double and Jonathan then. 8 cars are left then with 3 minutes to go. Sven is 6/10 of a second down. He's really struggling, isn't he, to improve on his opening time now, Sven is. Well, I say he's struggling, he's done a fantastic job to get through the Q3 anyway, but it seems like he has a very good first lap, and then he struggles to match there. I wonder if he's overdriving the car perhaps. Of course, you need to be at one with the car, don't you? You need to relax a bit, I think. Says the guy that his best position in IRC, I think, was 6th position or 7th, and that's because there's only 6 runners. Yeah. So Sven comes across the line then, and he's now going to start a lap now then. So he's going for another go, and he's done a lot of harvesting on that lap. Of course, these are hybrid engines, so we got a bit of energy recovery in the cars, and a yellow flag in 2 and 3. Hopefully, no one's it's Asdog there. What am I saying? I don't really know. Sven there on the back straight, and on the curb of granite, and accelerates out there nicely, and he comes into the second chicane right now, and now into the second chicane there, and looked at almost dipping his wheels on the gravel there. I think that was inch perfect there from Sven. Fantastic stuff into the first lesmo down, and you look at that. I love that shot. Fantastic. Now then coming into the second. Now, and you can see not taking too much curve out, not running at all wide there, Sven, isn't there? There's a lot of time on the table there if you go out wide, so I'm thinking Sven there just taking a bit leisurely in the second lesmo there. But how's he going to do on the time? He's done very well on the time now, doesn't it? So incredible stuff. So he's improved now by 200ths of a second there, and now he comes into the final almost straight line in the final part of the Ascara chicane then, and now it's on the back straight, Sven is, and he's done 2 laps on these tyres. He has not got, I think this is it for Sven then, so it's he hasn't got time to come back in and fit fresh set of tyres and go back out there. So Sven there, he's gone very wide then. Yellow flag in 1. We'll look to see what's going on in a minute. Sven is and he has, unfortunately hasn't improved there. Roscoe is in the second lesmo as well. We have also got Asdog and Not That Bad out there at the moment. As now we've got so Roscoe now coming under the road, banking over it, and Tristan, Team John Cox said as Tristan is just thrown into the comments. Unfortunately, Jonathan is 9th for the moment. That is the highest he's going to start. He might even start lower than that if Roscoe gets the time in, which he looks like he should do, unless he has an awful problem with the parabolica. And now he flies it, flings it into the parabolica then. And he's going to accelerate. Now look at that, accelerating almost halfway through the corner. And what's he doing then? And a yellow flag in 3, and Roscoe goes 5th fastest then. So Roscoe's got enough time on the in the bag there to improve out. Not that bad then. Is abandoned his time then, and I think Asdog's also had a bit of a problem as well then. So Asdog's going to have to go around again. Not that bad. It's harvesting, so he's going to go around as well. Sven there is, I think, he's still pushing, isn't he? Sven is. He's on the back straight. Harry there comes across the line, and he improves by 800ths of a second there. Harry does, but doesn't improve his position. Woody is in 6th position. Fantastic stuff from Woody. Matt there is also starting his lap as well, and we've got all sorts going on out there. This is great stuff indeed. And look, Sven is 4/10 of a second up then. This is going to be a mighty improvement here for Sven, and it is. It's at 4. I think he lost 4/10 there in the end then. So Sven is 9th. Jonathan Cox is 10th, Sven is 9th, Double is 8th. That is the grid positions locked in. Who is going to qualify where? Woody is a 10th of a second down in this second sector. Harry is qualified 7th then, so Harry's done as well. Who's going to be the top 6 then? What order are they going to be in? Roscoe is on track at the moment. We've got Woody, who I think is called it a day as well. We've Not That Bad, it's done, Not That Bad, it's not going to get pole position. Roscoe's not going to get pole position either. Woody in, so it's going to be down to Asdog. It's going to be down to Matt, who is going to get these final positions then. Asdog is 200 to a second down in the second sector. IRC Racing there could potentially get his second pole position, second pole position in 3 races as well. So IRC Racing there is really stepping up, and a good call there from Larson's as well. As Asdog there, is he going to? He's carrying on then. So can Asdog get pole position? No, he stays third at the moment. Then Maya is the last one. Can he get his third pole position? There? He's a 10th of a second up. Then is that in the ballpark? I don't think it is at the moment. He might displace Asdog, but I don't think he's going. Can he get himself on the front row? It's going to be very close. It is. It's. Oh, where is it gone? It's 4th in the end there for Matt. IRC Racing gets his second pole position of his career. So fantastic stuff for IRC Racing. Brilliant stuff indeed. His second pole position in 3 races then. He is definitely the man of the moment at the moment, isn't he? Fantastic stuff for RU Racing. So are you racing 6/10 of a second in front? Not that bad in second. Third position is Asdog. Fourth position is Matt. Fifth is Roscoe with Woody in sixth position. Harry seventh with double eighth. Ninth is Sven, and Jonathan is down in 10th position. Oh, this is a mixed up grid, isn't it? This is looking very good indeed then. And we're about to get ready for the race, which starts momentarily. And Larson's just said, team. And then Larson says, team RU Racing. Yep, definitely. He's on pole position, so well done to RU Racing. As we said, his second pole position of the season. Jonathan just said, Ascari's awkward kink. And look at that. That is a heavy bit of rain there, isn't it? Ascari is an awkward kink to get right. It's going to be even harder now with the wet. This is going to be absolute carnage, isn't it, in the opening couple of laps here then. So strap yourselves in, guys. This is going to be a very, very very entertaining race then. So hopefully everyone's brought their wellies, their rain boots, the rain boots and wellies are exactly the same. Raincoats, their macs, their ponchos, whatever else there. I hope you've all got your waterproofs ready, because this is going to be a very wet and wild race, isn't it? And those who just heard Toro also, I changed their name to Alpha Tori. I told you, that's incredible, isn't it? I almost feel I do like a good name change in Formula One. I got very excited when Alfa Romeo announced they were returning to the grid, albeit as Sauber, but I must admit though, I do miss the Sauber name on the grid, don't I? Because I think this is the first time since '93 that the Sauber name hasn't actually appeared on the Formula 1 grid. Because they were still BMW Sauber, weren't they, when BMW took over from them? And they're all on the intermediate tyres then. So yeah, it seems to be a very wet race, but everyone's on the intermediate tyres, so it can't be too wet out there. So there must not be standing water anywhere. And we have got well, we got McLaren, as we were told, and so we've got the most I think it's going to be a drag race out of the first corner there. This is going to be phenomenal stuff, and we've got a lot of disqualifications already. On pole position then is RU Racing, alongside him is not that bad. Third position is Anstor with Matt in fourth. Roscoe is in fifth with Woody in sixth position. Harry is seventh. Double is in eighth position. Ninth position is Sven. And 10th position is Jonathan. 11th position is Hogg with JJ in 12th position. 13th is Timmy. 14th is Steve. Penny in 15th. Snap is in 16th with Physico 17th. 18th is PB. 19th is Brown. And 20th is Dave then. Are you racing there? Just on the start, it's on the grid then at the moment. Just taking a look to see who else out there, and we got well, they're all just going through the first chicane then. As I think we've had some disqualifications out there, haven't we? We have indeed. So they've all been disqualified then. So that they only got to turn one. Hopefully they'll get further than that then. And as Brown's also been disqualified. So I tell you what, the half the grid's there already, isn't it? Really. So you can see them. We've got a great view of the marshals there. Do absolutely fantastic job, don't they? It's we're just waiting for the other drivers then to come round to the grid then. And of course, not that bad is leading the grid. There's a McLaren in the background there, just making his way around there as well. Excuse me. And you can see that it is heavy rain, isn't it? But there's no standing water out there at the moment. But it's very close to wet tyres, isn't it? Very, very close indeed. If this rain gets any heavier, we're going to have to put on the blue marked tyres. The intermediates can shift 25 litres of water. The wet tyres can shift 60 litres of water. Well, that was the old specification anyway. Whether that's still the same or not, I do not know. Or maybe Crofty just lied to me, which I wouldn't put it past him. Anyway, it's PB there just coming onto the grid now, so he's the final man then to line up. We've got 20 cars that is going to tackle this very wet and miserable Grand Prix here in Monza. Look at the cars are lined up there. We got a racing point on pole position with Mercedes alongside him. Not a bad. It's got a 50-point lead in the championship at the moment. RU Racing is at 60 points behind, 64 points behind then. Here we go, lights out, and away we go, and let's go. And it's not a very good start at all. It's a terrible start for RU Racing. He's had an appalling start. A great start for not that bad then, and a brilliant start there from Anstok as well. He has gone up into second position already then. As they come down into turn one, we've got yellow flags already because in the backs, Penny's gone off the track, and then Anstok's completely missed the first chicane, and he's going to obviously steam policeman. He's got a 5-place grid penalty for cutting the corner. We're on board there with Snapman, who's taking a very leisurely pace then, and you can see both Ferraris are side by side then coming out of the first chicane then. Oh, and that's Matt there into the wall. Matt's gone into the wall, and look, IRC there taking a evasive action there. There's all sorts going on. Roscoe's up in the third position at the moment, and that's damage to the Toro Rosso, and they come down to the second chicane then. Oh, Roscoe's going to go wide there. It's all chaos there so far there. We've got a Haas off the track as well. Jonathan's up at the fourth already. Incredible start there for Jonathan. IRC is dropping down the pole series, having an awful lap there at the moment. Awful first lap there at the moment as they come through then the Ascari chicane then. Well, incredible stuff then. IRC is back in the 5th position, and the pole inside just didn't move, did he? And double there is in that 13th position, then Brown is 14th, and whoa! Oh no, that's a Toro Rosso gone around. That's Brown who's gone around then in the second left, but there's damage onto the cars. That's damage there for the for one of the cars there. I think it was a yellow rear, it was a yellow wing, which must have been a Renault. It's it might have been a Renault. Petty there in just cruising through then, and wow. We got we got yellow flags there, and it's what's happening here? Just taking a quick look then. There's all sorts going on at the moment, and wow, this is going on. Everything's going off here. Look at this. Penny is left for session. Penny is left for session, and we're on board. JJ, look at this. JJ's flying through the field. He's got some pace in that Haas, hasn't he? He's up into 9th position, then Timmy is up into 8th position. Not that bad. Leads the race after lap 1 then in this very wet race. Oh, that was a Toro Rosso. They're just going through us there. As come through to complete that one here anyway. And JJ's up into 9th. He's had an incredible first lap. Then we've got yellow flags there in the final sector. Let's just take a look, see what's going on. Not a lot then. Well, we've only got one person in the pits then after that chaotic opening lap then into the pits to hog as well. IRC has got a 5-second penalty, so has Matt. And they've skipped the first chicane, and then you can see that's also a Haas there bouncing across the steam policeman. And now Steve is going to be alongside him. He is alongside him. He is through and up into 10th position. And so Steve has moved up several positions there. Good stuff from Steve. Then of course he crashed in the opening stint of the qualifying session. Jonathan Cox has moved up into 4th position. Fantastic stuff from the Ferrari driver who was in 10th position, and Sven going a bit deep there into the chicane. And now this is going to allow Doubles to get really keen there. But Doubles had a bit of a poor. Moving a pole-in exit there out of the second chicane, and now we're on board Physico, who of course I think was qualified down in 18th position. And Harry's got a 5-place grid penalty as well, and look, so is Hog there as well. They're all going skating off at turn 1. Not a bad lead by 7 tenths of a second, but I think the battle is between Stio and East here. And here comes JJ now. We're on board JJ then in the Haas. He's having a look at the Ascar chicane. He's going to be a brave man to go up there, especially in these difficult conditions at the moment then. Is this rain going to last all the way through the race, or is it going to get heavier? Well, that looks quite heavy to me, doesn't it? And look, Stio's gone very wide then. And that's going to allow JJ then to gain. He is gaining now, and he is going to go on the inside corner to the parabolic there, and not a bad. And look at this in the background. There's Double in physical battling for position as well. JJ is gone wide though, and look at Steve there swoops on the inside. Matt is dropped down to 8th position then as Timmy, and now Matt's in the pits. And Matt's in the pits. The damage there is too great there for the Toro Rosso driver then as they come through the complete lap 2 then. Look at this then. Physico is now up into 11th position there. Jonathan Cox has got a 5. He's also gone across the chicane. It's very brutal, isn't that chicane? It's because they struggle to slow down. Of course, they're in these wet conditions. Dave Ver is just moving up into 30th position. He's past PB and up into a 13th then, and you can see them making sure he stays within track limits then. And JJ and Stio is still battling position. They start to spread out now at the front of the field at the moment, so not that bad in Ansdog. They're 1st and 2nd at the moment then as it stands. And incredible stuff and it was a great first lap, and Tristan said it was a great first lap for Jonathan. It really was. As is a Jada and we've also got another horse there in the background there, Sven, and this is going to be very difficult conditions indeed. And Murphy has just said, is that per corner or all 4 tyres, the water displacement? That is. I think it's actually all 4. I think it's all 4 tyres. I don't know. Anyway, look at that. That's heavy rain. That is heavy rain. That is here in Monza. It's so going to have to throw on the wet tyres. Hog is already thrown on the wet tyres and here at this moment then. So this is going to get very. Oh look, Aston is already gained right on the back of that. This is appalling conditions here in Monza. And David's now moved out because Double's gone. Double's off at the Ascar chicane and in the Williams, and he's just coming back on now. And yeah, wet tyres. And let's see what Hog can do then on the wet tyres. And this rain is absolutely absolutely bucking it down here in Monza, and Brown is in the pit as they come through then the complete lap forward. Penny has joined, he is back in the session, he was up in the 15th position, Penny is, so Penny was having difficult, and that's damage there on Roscoe's Red Bull at the moment there. John Cox in the back now, he's got a 5-second penalty. Ari racing the pole sitters down to 5th position at the moment, Woody in 6th, Timmy 7th, Steo's 8th, Brown is left for session, he is unfortunately down in 8th, 20th position at the moment. And and that's Sven there just jumping. He's got a 3-second penalty for jumping across the chicane. Then these are very brutal penalties at the moment. Then incredible stuff here in Monza. And as Lars has just said, everyone in the top 5 got penalties, 5-second penalty. I think everyone has, apart from I can't remember. Brown is going to disqualified for parking in a dangerous location then, so I think that must have been the exit of the pit lane. Yellow flag just in front of us here at 2. What's going on at 2? And I wonder if someone's just recovering there, but the yellow flag, well, it's still out there at 2 at the moment. What's going on in 2? Well, nothing but looks. Just taking a quick look, and a Hog there is on wet tyres. We're going to watch Hog's times very closely, I think, and see what he can do. Alright, Roscoe is now going to be under pressure then. There's all sorts going on here. Now, Physico is up into 10th position. He is by Sven and moved up into 10th position. So well done to Physico. He's in the top 10 already. As we mentioned in the qualifying show, that he is very quick in race trim, isn't he? And not a bad set, another fast out of the race then. Yellow flags in 2 and 3. There's yellow flags all over the track at the moment. Just taking a look to see why. Oh, and Hog there, I think it's gone across the chicane there. Yellow flag in 3 as well in sector 3. It's going all off at the moment there. And just now watching Snap at the moment then. Unfortunately, Penny's PS4 is broke. And that's not a good sign at all for Penny, is it? So hopefully that's not the case. Snap is now setting quick times. Timmy is dropping down. He is dropping down to 7th position then. And Steve is going to be all over the back of him soon as well. There is starting to become a queue behind Roscoe at the moment, and this is the battle for 3rd position at the moment. Roscoe's got damage to that front wing. He's 3 seconds behind Anstalk, who is 2nd at the moment. And as it stands there, the other flag is still floating out in 3 at the moment. Hog is not gaining at the moment. And Dave is having to. Oh no! Sven is gone. Sven is having a problem there. He has had a problem with the Curva Grande, and the Snap is also had a problem there in front of us. Sven there just cutting across the chicane then, and this is incredible, isn't it? There's action all over because Roscoe and Jonathan Cox are back in 4th position in the Ascara chicane, and now Jonathan is still in 4th position, with Roscoe is back over the 3rd position. And you can see then, and we're coming down into the Parabolica then. This is incredible stuff, isn't it? You can see this is the battle for 3rd position. This is the final battle for the podium then in the Italian Grand Prix then. And yeah, this is. I wonder if the rain is going to clear up. They reckon it did say rain for the whole race then. So they technically no one has to come into the pits then with a wet strategy in a minute, because John Cox is now turned up the heats once again. Now look at this. He's going side by side. They go down to the chicane, into the French chicane, and Roscoe braking much later, and well, very good. Roscoe's got very good brakes on that Red Bull, hasn't he? Fantastic. Accelerating away now. So we've got yellow flags once again in 1. There's yellow flags all over the shop, and that's why Brown's car is pulled off the track there. He got disqualified a couple of laps ago, so I don't know how that's worked. Sven is in the pits then, and now Steve is up in 14th. 50th position is double at the moment. I think it's. Oh, Roscoe's gone off, and he's got a 3-second penalty there for going off in the 2nd chicane then. So we did say that the penalties are going to be is very difficult around here, isn't it? And really to avoid them. So yeah, very very difficult indeed to avoid penalties. Jonathan there dropped back by a second. We're keeping on that in just a few moments as well. Just looking down the field, and Steve is now out to 8th position. Fantastic drive from Steve at the moment. Also, PB is quite close to Snap, or was, and also we've got Penny, unfortunately, is not in the race. Well, that's a shame, isn't it? Sven's got a 10-second penalty there for skating across, and those wet tyres are not working out for Hog at the moment. He's a second quicker this lap around, but it's unfortunately not working out too great. Look at the battle. Here's the battle for the lead then between Not That Bad and Asdog. Asdog is now reeled in. Not That Bad. Of course, Not That Bad's got an incredible strike rate this season. 10 starts, 7 wins, 9 podiums. Dave's got a 3-second penalty. He's moved up to 11th position at the moment, and you can see then his Asdog there is just his 6th second back. Remember, no DRS at this stage of the race because it's too wet for DRS. As doubles moved up to 14th position as well. They're starting to get spread out. They get spread out a bit more in the wet, don't they? Because of all the spray and everything like that. And to come into turn one again. Roscoe going a bit wide there. Brown is back in there. It's back in, but unfortunately, his car's not though, because he got disqualified for parking in a dangerous location. So Brown is out of this race, unfortunately. And well, that's a big blow for Brown, because he got some points, didn't he? Not so much. Sven's got another 3-second penalty. Man, these penalties are really racking up, isn't it? These penalties are going to make or break drivers' races. And of course, remember, John Court's got a 5-second penalty, as is RU Racing, I believe, as well. Look at this, and Roscoe once again, and Penny has joined as well. So Penny is back in the race. Great stuff indeed. Then, as Dan Murphy just said, I don't think it's Penny's case that's broke, Sean. And so as well, Penny is in 14th position at the moment, so well, he's 15th now. So yeah, well, Penny is still in this, definitely in. There's a long way to go in this race. We've still got 20 more laps to go in this. And talking of which, then these drivers do not have to pit. So even so, can they go all through the race without pitting on these intermediate tires? It's going to be wow war, aren't they, if they do? So of course, in the rules, you don't have, when it's a wet road race, strategy goes. You don't have to come in the pit at all. Are you racing in the pole sitter who's down 50? Yeah, on the pole and start, didn't you? Just didn't pull away. John Cox there, just getting a bit defensive, going into the parabolica then, and this is getting really feisty now, isn't it? Alright, Roscoe's doing a cracking job there as he is. He has damaged his front wing, but he's doing a brilliant job there, isn't he? And now then they're coming up again, and now Jonathan, this is much closer this time. This is Jonathan's best opportunity in this race so far. He's pulled out the slipstream, and he is now side by side with Roscoe going down his turn one. Can't for get on the podium in his home race. He's done a great job so far to get himself up into third position. Oh, and there's big contact there, and well, a lot of contact there, and now the accelerator win, and Roscoe there is just pulling alongside him. They're going to be very close. They're going to Curva Grande here, isn't it? And now they fly through the Curva Grande. Jonathan is now up into third position. He needed to get that job done, didn't he, really? Because I think he was all over the back of Roscoe. RE Racing is going to be all over the back of... Is that Asdog in the foreground? I think it is. Asdog is a problem. Got a yellow flag in 3. Penny is there for session. Sven is just cruising around the moment. And Timmy is now up into 6th position because Woody's gone. Woody is gone in the... Oh, that's a big smash for the Ferrari driver. He is out of the race. And oh my gosh. Now this is getting very tasty indeed, isn't it? Look, there's the Ferrari in the background now. He is out of the race, Woody is. That's a shame there from Woody. He was on a fantastic race in the points there, and Physico almost had the drive there between JJ and yeah, there's go. So that's a big smash there in the Curva Grande there for the Ferrari driver. So that's one Ferrari out. The other Ferrari is up into 4th position at the moment. Sorry, 3rd position at the moment. So good start there from Jonathan Cox, as I said, from 10th to 3rd. Brilliant stuff as well, because the yellow flags at the moment are out for the Ferrari driver. And Penny says he's fixed his PlayStation with a hammer. Who says it? Oh, and Dave are going very wide in the Ascara chicane there and going off the track. And yeah, he was lucky he didn't hit anyone there. So Dave must have misjudged his breaking point there. And now once again, Physico is all over the back, and JJ is only coming into the parabolica there. Look as he pulls out from under the rear wing of JJ. He's going to go on the outside. He is through on the outside. This is going to be fantastic. He's going through on the outside. Look at this. That's brilliant. Physico is out on the outside. He has passed the Haas driver and moved into 8th position. That's a phenomenal bit of driving there from Physico, from 18th to 8th in 9 laps. But look at JJ, he's flying. Wow, he has got, I tell you what, that has got some mighty top end speed, hasn't it? Incredible stuff. But Physico breaks a lot later than JJ. And Penny is back in this race. So Penny is back in the race, and he is in 14th position there. Can he stay to the end? Because he potentially gets some points here. Because this race is far from done, as we mentioned earlier on. Now coming from Curva Grande again. There's a lot of damage on the Haas there, isn't it? Oh, Physico getting very layered out of Curva Grande. There's Dave in the background there, and he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. And oh, JJ there. Thought he's going to go to the side of Physico, and not quite there. You can see, look at this. It's quite a lot of... It's surprising how damp you get in these wet weather conditions, isn't it? The drivers normally do get soaked, don't they? Just take Fizzy's race pace and racecraft is second to none. Indeed it is. Unfortunately, his qualifying, he does have a bit of difficulties in qualifying, but in the race, he is unmatched, isn't he? Physico, as you said, from 18th on the grid up into 8th already. Incredible stuff. And look at that rain, absolutely pelting down at the moment. A 10-second penalty there for Matt. That is that's quite a hefty penalty. He's gone to the wet tyres, hasn't he? Matt has. So yeah, this is going to be it's going to be interesting to see what he does there, because I think Hogg is on the wet tyres anyway. It's very close to the wet tyres. So and Matt's retired from the race, so Matt is gone. So he is out of this Monza, of this Italian Grand Prix, and that is where has he gone off? Just taking a quick look, and I think just on board there with Hogg then, is just taking a look to see where he's gone. Hog is being lapped there, and he has gone off into the second chicane then, Matt. Oh, that's an interesting place to crash. So, and Penny is left for session again then. That's a very interesting place to crash there. I'm wondering if he comes to blows with anyone. And look, for this battle here then is still a battle for 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and I think PB is just there in 12th position as well. Matt is out of the race. Both Toro Rossos are in their home race, so this is not good at all, is it, from the Toro Rosso's point of view then. And we got yellow flags here, down, everywhere at the moment, haven't we? It's all sorts going on. Yellow flags then, is there a car off in front? Not that bad. It's going to get a 3-second penalty in the race leader, as at the moment can hand the lead to Asdog. As Asdog got a penalty, I can't remember, to be honest. Are you racing? Is oh, he's got a puncture. Are you racing? He's got a puncture. The pole sitter is having all kinds of problems here in Monza, and that is a major puncture there for just in Timmy and Steve in the foreground there. Are you racing is dropping down the order. He was in 5th position, and the racing point. This is a big blow then. I wonder if he run over some debris or something. There's a lot of debris on the circuit. And that's the pole sitter dropping down. Then he has got a puncture in this Italian Grand Prix. Incredible stuff. Then this is absolute scenes here in the Italian Grand Prix. There's a snap there, and East. Oh my gosh, very close there to the racing point. Then as they come into the parabolic there, and RE Racing there is in a very difficult position. Well done to RE Racing there to get out of the way. As East has dropped down to 10th position. Now Dave has moved up into incredible 8th position, and now Steve and Timmy are battling for 6th and 5th position at the moment. Good stuff indeed then. So as we're going to just take as RE Racing is in the pits then. Is at the end of his race, and what tyres are going to go on at the moment? The man who's on the wet tyres is actually Hog, as a 3-second penalty for East then. So at this moment in time, so we got a lot of penalties up there at the moment, and the racing point mechanics doesn't seem to be ready. So as Brown is joined, so Brown is back in this race as well. We've got all sorts going on at the moment, haven't we, in terms of the connection? But yeah, so he's still on the intermediate tyres there, and I think that's probably the most sensible option out there currently. And you can see then Snap then is in front of JJ. I tell you what, JJ's got some pace in that Haas, hasn't he? It's a shame he's damaged his front wing, because what could be for JJ, this could be his best racer, this could be his best result of his career so far. But I tell you what, that Haas is very slippery in a straight line, isn't it? It's very difficult to overtake, and I think Snap might be a bit wary of the Haas on the back straight at the moment. And let's take a look at the race order then. Sven's get a 10-second penalty. There's a lot. That's 2 10-second penalties we've seen now. I think one of them was Matt, but he's unfortunately out of this race, as is Woody and Brown as well. Brown got disqualified for parking in a dangerous location. East has gone very wide there, and that is now PB then to really start to catch on at JJ then as they come down the back straight then. So yeah, unfortunately we've lost Brown. He parted in a dangerous location. Woody retired out of the Curva Grande, and Matt retired on the second chicane there. And you can see coming into the parabolic there, Timmy and Steve there really still fighting for position. Asdog is now all over the back of Not That Bad, and they are really getting very close to our Ace is in the pits then. So this is the battle for the lead then. And look, Jonathan Cox has also thrown his hat in the ring as well, and so has Roscoe. There's been a problem there for Not That Bad. He is not as quick as he once was, and they've really bunched up, haven't they, behind his JJ's in the pits then, so he's going to drop down. He is going to change that front wing and also put on a fresh set of intermediate tyres. Sven is out of the race, unfortunately, and I think that it's in the final. I wonder if it's in the Scar chicanes these guys are coming up to now. Then it is at the Scar chicane. We're down to 16 runners then after the 20 that started here in Monza. Yeah, these weathers have been absolutely appalling. There's Roscoe and now Sven. He has been there in the Scar chicane. That's a shame there for the Haas driver. So in the top 4, and look at them, they're in the same shot. Steve is 15 seconds back at the moment in 5th position. Timmy is in 6th, and then I think this is the closest battle on track at the moment then. Both racing points are now 15th and 16th at the moment. I think Hogg is trying to hang it out on the wet tyres, and to be honest, it's so close, isn't it, to the wet wear tyres, but it's just not working out for Hogg. And everyone else is on the intermediate tyres then. This is the battle for the lead then here in Monza. It's between Asdog. Asdog hasn't won a race since China of season 5. Not that bad. Of course, he's got 7 wins so far this season. Jonathan has got 4 wins this season, and Roscoe is skating across the chicane. He's got a 5-second penalty as well. That is a big blow for Roscoe, the Scotsman. That might cost him, but to be honest, it depends how much the other guys have got penalties as well. Is everyone? I think everyone's got a penalty in this battle here, and not that bad then. Oh, and JJ's got a 3-second penalty. Then look at that, bouncing across the chicane then at the moment. And Jonathan then is doing a cracking job at the moment, isn't he? Physico as well. It's between Physico and Jonathan for driver of the day so far, but we've got a long way to go. Anything can happen in this race. and it definitely will. It definitely will indeed, as we've noticed with the pole sitter dropping down to 5th, and then getting a puncture as well. Look at these guys are really starting to queue up now, aren't they? This rain is absolutely appalling, isn't it? It really is. They're out there, as we've had a lot of drivers coming through the field. Of course, Theo was a part of those drivers that Ari Race set the fast start of the race on those fresh intermediate tires. So Ari Race is now going to fly. He's now up behind Harry. He will be through Harry, and he is through, and over the 14th position. We're going to stick with this battle here. Then this is the battle for this battle on the podium. John Cox said just pulling out the slipstream there. Is he trying to cool down those intermediate tires, or is he trying to aggravate Asdog? I think it might be more of cooling down the tires. But look at him, he's taking more of a carton line out of the parabolica there. As Asdog is rolled the dice. He is in the pits. Asdog is. So Asdog is coming into the pits then. And is the rain got too heavy out there for the intermediate tires, or is he getting some fresh boots on in it? Because he's just seen RE Racing has gone a lot quicker, and RE Racing is very much now approaching JJ then in the battle for 13th and 14th. Remember, this is the pole sitter. It's incredible, isn't it? And look, we got and look, we got Asdog in the pits, and he is coming out of the pits now on the intermediate tires. And they're all coming in the pits, and so the front two haven't come in the pits. And Jonathan Coxon is and yeah, so that's incredible. Physico stays out there at the moment. You don't have to have a pit stop. You don't have a mandatory pit stop, do you? In the is that RE Racing's gone a bit wide there, and JJ's gone well off the track, and he's in the wall. He's in the wall there, and JJ there I think went too wide, and he's in the wall here in the Scar chicane. He is out of the Italian Grand Prix. That car was definitely motoring down the straights, wasn't it? So that's a shame. As is that Hog there is really wrestling that car, isn't he? In the second chicane then on board then with the race leader, not that bad. But I must admit, he hasn't had his own way, has it? Physico has come out just behind Asdog. Now the question is these worn intermediates then how are they going to compare then to the absolute to the tires that have just been fitted on? Dave is in front of his teammate there. Is there going to be any team wars in the Red Bull camp? We'll find out soon. Dave's done a good job as well. Physico and Dave have done a cracking job, haven't they? As they've come through the field as well. Now Asdog is now 8/10 in front. They are 26.3 seconds behind the leaders. John, is these guys going to roll the dice? Not that bad as roll the dice, and so is Jonathan Cox as well then. So they're all coming in the pits then. So there's no one out there that is willing to take a gamble and go to the end on the intermediate tyres, which I'm not surprised. Because yeah, that would have been a big gamble, wouldn't it? And so then in and out the pits there comes not that bad then. So he's out of the pits, and of course he's been on the podium 9 times there. And now the Ferrari mechanics there. I think that was take a 5 second. That was a 5 second stop ago that Jonathan is served. And that's just a lap car going through then. I think not that bad. It's got a sizable advantage, but Jonathan might even have a decisive. No, Aston comes through. Physico's in the pits, and Roscoe is so Jonathan is down in 3rd position then. Roscoe is in 4th position. Physico's in the pits, and so is David. So yeah, Roscoe is in 4th. 5th position is Steve at the moment, and Physico's coming out of the pits as well. Dave is in the pits. What about Timmy? Timmy is coming up across the line now. And what is he doing in the Mercedes? He is going to be he's behind Physico, and a Double Air who is not coming in the pits either, so he's put himself right in the mix, hasn't he, Double Air? And Double Air break in there and almost going side by side with Physico there. Dave out of the pits as well, but PB there is just got in front of Dave. And look in the background there, and this is RE Racing, who's still carring his way through the field, and he is having a look at Snap. Snap has gone a bit wide, and but he has got the inside line for the second part of the chicane then. But RE Racing is going to have the traction here. And Physico has damaged the car. Physico has damaged the car in the Renault. I wonder if he's had a problem at Curva Grande. He has damaged the car. Is he had it coming together there with Double? I'm not sure. Possibly not. But that is a big blow for Physico. It's an incredible race. Is having a bit of a problem at the moment. And here in Italy. Oh, what a shame there for the Renault driver. He was having an absolutely barnstorming of a race there from Physico. Wow, incredible that JJ's left the session then, so we've lost 5 cars then in this race on board RE Racing alone. This is the close battle track between himself and Physico at the moment. And between himself and Snap at the moment, Physico, is he going to come in the pits? Is he going to be able to handle that damage? He's going to have a lot of understeer there. And and RE Racing there really has gone across the gravel there at the Ascara chicane, and he's lost all that momentum, unfortunately. Physico is back on the gearbox of Double in the Williams end. So it's Double coming into the pits. He is coming into the pits now. to Physico, then that's how is that going? That's going to affect his race. I think Physico he's not going to be as quick as he was before. We're talking to us about shadow of a doubt, isn't it? Really, but yeah, that's really not good, is it, for the Renault driver? Snap is back up in the 10th minute. Are you racing 11th? Of course, remember, Are you racing was the pole sitter, wasn't he? Let's just take a quick look and see what's going on then in terms of the position changes. Jonathan Cox is up 7, great start. Up 9 is Theo, fantastic start. 7 for Timmy, 10 for Physico, 10 for PB, 11 for Dave, incredible. Down 10 is Are You Racing, down 5 is Harry and Double. And unfortunately, Matt down to 14 positions, he's out, and Looney is down 13 positions as well. And the tires and look, and a PB there just lagging there, isn't he? And really, he was lagging all over the shop, wasn't he? So Dave, I think, thought that probably was just taking the safer bet out. Oh, he's gone very wide in the second Ascari, and this is going to allow Dave there to pull out from. So he's now going under the bridge section. There, he is through and up into 8th position. Then these conditions are absolutely appalling, and they see we can see the raindrops now, can't we? We can see the rain coming down here in Italy. Incredible stuff, isn't it? A very unseasonal wet weather here in Italy, isn't it? It's usually we usually have lovely afternoon sunshine. Well, not today, are we? I don't think the sun has made an appearance in this race. It's been incredibly wet out there. And Dave there is now up into 8th position. Then Roscoe at the moment, he's a second back from Jonathan at the moment. The race order then with 10 laps to go is not a bad lead. 2nd position is Asdog, 3rd is Jonathan, 4th position is Roscoe, Steve in 5th position, Timmy is in 6th. 7th position is Physico, 8th position is Dave. PB is in 9th position mode. He is 5/10 of a second back with Snap now also snapping on his heels in 10th position. Are You Racing 11th, Harry is 12th, Double 13th, Penny in 14th, and 15th is Hog. He's now thrown himself on an intermediate tire, so the wet weather tires didn't work there for Hog, unfortunately, so he's almost a minute behind Steve at the moment in the 14th position there. And I tell you what, PB is really hanging on to the back of Dave's car pretty well at the moment, isn't he, in the Alfa Romeo? Well, he was, but he's had an awful drive out of the second chicane, and now it's going to throw him into the clutches of Snap in a 10th position in the Renault. You see then, not that bad. It's just set a fast lap race road. You get an extra point for fast lap runs. Of course, not that bad has the most fastest laps as well this season with 4. Asdog has 3 at the moment. So yeah, so it's good. So yeah, he might be on his way for his 5th fast lap. Not that bad. It's a record-breaking season for Not That Bad this season. He has been absolutely incredible. He really has. He's been phenomenal stuff. And Not That Bad. He's even missed 3 races as well. What could have been really domination, really definitely Schumacher-esque domination, and just keeping with Snap at the moment. Snap and PB has dropped back to almost a second and a half behind Dave in the Red Bull as they come through. Then they come through to complete another lap. Snap is quite a way behind PB at the moment. Well, he's now dropped under a second, but behind him. Look all the water on the racing line. Then I think that tonight is going to be very difficult to overtake off the racing line, isn't it, with all that standing water. But I think again it's just borderline, isn't it? It's borderline wet tires. These guys are doing an absolutely phenomenal job to keep it on the island. Absolutely great stuff indeed. Then from the super drivers here tonight, brilliant indeed. Of course, remember next week we will be in Singapore, and John, of course, got a 3-second penalty. That could come back to haunt him there, couldn't it? Of course, he's already taken his 5-second penalty in the pit. But yeah, that's unfortunate for Jonathan. I think Roscoe might have a 3-second penalty as well. So yeah, as we said earlier, the penalties are definitely going to be really. This is definitely going to be something to look out for coming the end of this race. And Are You Racing once again homing in on Snap. Snap is there or thereabouts with PB as Dave is checked out in 8th position. Then so he is now. Well, sorry, I was reading that wrong way. He's 2 seconds in front of PB, but Dave is only 4 seconds behind Physico. Physico has got damage on that front wing. And Snap there, and you can see that car is just floating behind now, and Are You Racing is now also starting to get very interesting as well. He's under a second. Remember, there's no DRS in these wet weather conditions because it's just too dangerous, isn't it? So yeah, Snap RU Racing is going to have to overtake the old-fashioned way at the moment. He is out of the points to pole series at the moment. He had an appalling start, didn't he? Dropped down to 5th, and then it's all just got an in on the puncher, didn't he? So RU Racing really having a bit of a difficult race out there. 5-second penalty there for Hogg. I think he must have cut the first chicane now. It seems to be the driver's favourite place to overtake, favourite place to cut. And Snap there just getting a bit out of shape there, wasn't he? As he accelerates away from the first chicane. And now RU Racing then is now really starting to put the pressure on Snap, isn't he? And look at the understeer there on board with RU Racing. And now then he's just coming. And look, you see look at this. And we got a good old train here, haven't we? Dave is just 2 seconds in front of PB. PB is 1.6 seconds in front of Snap, and then RU Racing is all about. And I think PB has had an appalling exit there. He's had an appalling exit there out of the second chicane, then. And then now PB is going to be. Is Snap going to have a look into the? It's the second left on board there with Snap laying lovely over the shoulder shot, and PB. Oh, look at this Snap there having a Snap oversteer, and because of that, that's RU Racing is through. Look at that lovely shot here. RU Racing is through and up into 10th position, and Snap has dropped down to 11th and outside the points potentially, depending on talking of penalties, PB has just got a penalty there as well, and so penalties is definitely going to be a big factor in this race later on with just 8 laps to go. Now then, RU Racing, and now let's see where he can go. Can he get in front of PB? Can he get in PB for 9th position? How high can RU Racing go? Because remember, he has the pace. Remember, seeing in qualifying. Well, then again, these are completely different conditions for qualifying to the race, isn't it? We had a lovely sunny afternoon in qualifying. It's been completely different here in the race. Of course, we had a bit of sprinkling rain in the Elite League in qualifying yesterday, but T Sammy was a bit disappointed that again the Super guys have the rain, but it seems like the Elite guys don't. Yellow flag in 1, and why is that? I'm not sure, to be honest. I wonder if someone just had a bit of a moment. It was Dave. Dave's had a bit of a moment in turn 1, and that's going to cause him all sorts of pressure now. As PB is all over the back of him, and Dave just needs to refocus his mind and get himself back on it, because he was quicker than these guys. So he was steadily pulling away there. Lovely shots here of the steering wheel here. So then this is the closest battle on track at the moment, because Aston has now cut the gap down to 3.7 seconds. But it's status quo everywhere else at the moment in time. And look at that! Who is that? That's the starter who is trying to have a go on the inside of the second left. That was very brave, wasn't it? And we've also, I think PB's just dropped back now. And look at this, they're going side by side, going up to the Oscar chicane then, as RU Race has got the inside line, and he will keep that 10th position then. And look at this, and Dave is really struggling. Has he got a problem with that car? Has he got a problem? Has he damaged the front wing? Let's take a look. He hasn't damaged the front wing, but he's lost a lot of momentum, hasn't he, to PB? And PB is really attempting. He's having a look. Not quite there. Dave's got the inside line, but he's going to drift wide then. But he's got the line covered beautifully there as they come through the parabolic and the lovely shots again. Tell what, Monza has some really beautiful shots out, and he's in the pits. PB is he has damaged the car, and so he is in the pits again. PB, sorry, RU Racing, and wow, I think that might be his day done and dusted there, unfortunately, then for the racing point. And if it can happen still, we've still got 6 laps to go, and that's what I mean by anything can happen there, because it was very, very close everything. And look, PB is struggling to keep the car in a straight line, and now Snap is alongside him as well as they come out and they're coming into Curva Grande. Then are they going to go side by side? They are indeed. Snap is going to go on the outside then. He is on the outside. He is going in. Look at that. He's through. Incredible overtake there from Snap. Very brave indeed there from the Renault driver. Fantastic. Oh, he's gone very wide there. He's skated across the second chicane in, and he's carrying on. But Dave is really struggling for performance. He's now 13 seconds away from Physico. Dave's only 4 seconds away, and now they've dropped right back there. So something's gone on with Dave's car there, and it's really causing him all sorts of problems at the moment then, as we're coming into the final stage of this, a very miserable Italian Grand Prix. The weather has been absolutely appalling today, hasn't it? As we're back on board down with Snap, and this is getting very, very tasty indeed as they come into the Ascari chicane. And Dave, I'm not sure what's going on with Dave. Is it he hasn't damaged the car, has he? There's something's gone awry there with Dave then in the Red Bull, and he's really struggling for pace there, isn't he? He's now 14.3 seconds away from Physica. He is the meat in the Renault sandwich at the moment, and it's not there. It's taking a wider line there, more of a karting line, of course, isn't it? Because you get more grip off the racing line in these weather conditions. And you can see no DRS. I'm loving these. IRC got a 3-second penalty. Again, RE Racing's on a bit of a miserable race today, isn't he? Unfortunately, he was the man coming into the race in form, with a 3 pole position in the last 2 races and 2 wins in the last 2 races as well. So RE Racing now, unfortunately, and Dave again there is very slow, isn't he? And look at this. Look at this. He's parked on the apex there, and Snap is just following him through. Steve is now all over the back of Roscoe in the battle for 5th and 6th position then. So we've got another battle then for the for some good points then. This is good. They're all starting to bunch up towards the end, and just like yesterday in the Elite, wasn't it? Oh, and Snap's got into the back of Davey. Has damaged the car. Snap has damaged the car. He is through another Dave position, and wow. So Snap has damaged the Renault. I'm wondering if he misjudged his braking point, or if it looked like he might have misjudged his braking point there, possibly. And now he's going to have difficulty there, isn't he? And now then his PB is now all over the back of Snap. Steve's all over the back of Roscoe as well, just trying to. Oh, and Snap going onto the grass there. This is getting. Look at how dark it's getting there. As you can see, we had a great shot from the side of the track there. Just taking a look, seeing what's going on here. Then, yep. So at the moment, then Steve and Roscoe still keeping giving themselves locked in combat at the moment. 8 seconds the gap is between Harry and a point at the moment. Can Harry get himself back into the points then? I think Snap is going to struggle for pace there, isn't he? Because yeah, Davis. Oh, look, he's going to go on the inside. PB is on the inside. Oh, and Snap is going right off the track. He's right off the track. He's actually hit the gravel there. Snap has, and he is coming into the pits, and Snap has. So so he damaged his car in the second chicane then, and that's going to give Harry a point, I think. And that's going to move double up to 11th position as well then. So the Renault mechanics go to work, they take off they get on a new nose cone ready for the Renault driver, and he'll be back out there and round to go. Steve, who is a ghost at the moment, so he is not in the race. Unfortunately, RE Racing set another fast lap, so he's taken that point off. Not that bad at the moment. Not that bad then, so he will not get the point though, because of course if you're not in the top 10, you will not get the point. Back to this battle here. Dave in there's now got to repel the as you can see then, he is really struggling, isn't he? And he's now going on to the inside there, and PB going on the outside. I'm wondering if they look like Dave let him through there, didn't he? So I'm wondering if something went on a bit before then. But and as you see then, the PB is now gone, hasn't he? He is now starting to pull away. It seems like Dave there is on board then with the Red Bull driver. He is really struggling into the final stages of this Italian Grand Prix there. Oh no! And Roscoe's gone round. 3-second penalty for BP. And yeah, Steve and Roscoe have well, we just seen them come together, but whether Steve there had a bit of a wild lunge, I do not know. Roscoe has still got, he's got damage to the end plate there, and also Steve's got damage there as well. So we've seen the end of that there, didn't we? They was in the second part. They was in the middle of the chicane there when they came together, the Red Bull and the Williams, and PB is now all over the back as Hog's got a 5-second penalty in the. Oh, look at this then! So darting all over the track here. PB is going to go on the inside, and that was Dave Vera is still in 8th position at the moment, and you can see there's the debris from the incident between Roscoe and Steve. As you can see, the PB there just stamping on the gas there too early there, and the back end switch slipping out. Harry is down to 6 seconds between these guys. Now these guys are really struggling. The pace is quite slow then between those two. I'm not sure what the problem is in the Red Bull at the moment, but he is now 18 seconds away. Physico, remember Physico has got damage to that wing as well. These guys going to come to the pits, or are they going to stay out and keep battling? I think they will keep battling, won't they? PB is now alongside him and back up on the back up. Oh, but he's gone wide, and Dave is now back through and up into an amateur 9th position. This is a fantastic battle, isn't it? Really enjoying this one. This is good action there alongside, and now again, and PB and Dave are going side by side again now. PB is back in front, and he is up into 8th position. Dave is down into 9th. And Harry there is just closing in, isn't he? He's only got 3 laps to go. These laps are flying by in the final stages here of Monza. Harry's had 22 laps on those intermediate tyres, so a good old stint there for Harry. Those tyres are going well past our best, haven't they? So yeah, definitely. Harry's not really keen on splitting with those tyres, is he? You can see there he is in the background there as well. RE Racing is a further. Well, he's 9 seconds away from Harry, so he's about 14 seconds away from this battle here. So I don't think RU Racing, well, it could all change though. It could all change with the penalties, but I think RU Racing will not get any points today. We have 14 runners sent out to the 20 that started. Steve has had issues with his connection, which is such a shame for Steve, isn't it? And what could have been? And oh, Dave, I thought he was going into the back there of of the Alfa Romeo. Such a shame there for Steve, isn't it, of not being able to of having issues with connection there. Big blow that has robbed us of a great race, a great drive that Steve could have had there. Of course, also retirements for JJ. He crashed in the Ascar chicane. Sven crashed the Ascar chicane as well, so both Haas's there copied each other, and PB there was going off to Nanya there, wasn't he? Matt crashed a very interesting place at the second chicane there, so I'm not sure what happened to Matt there. That was a really odd place to crash. And then we also lost Woody there at the Curb Grande in the Ferrari for Woody there. It was a big old smash as well. And also we got Brown, who retired as well. Well, he got disqualified because he was parking in a dangerous location there. I think he lost connection, Brown did, and because of that he got disqualified. So it was a bit harsh there for Brown. I think but unfortunately that's that really. So those are the 6 retirements here in Monza. And I'm going to be honest, it's been a very difficult race, hasn't it? It's been raining all the way through the race. It's been raining cats and dogs since the get-go. And I've got to say, these guys have done a fantastic job to stay on the intermediate tyres, because we go on board there. We're on board Dave now. Look at the rain there. It's absolutely incredible, isn't it? And Hoggy's got another 10-second penalty there. He's very close to being disqualified, isn't he? As he is down in 15th position at the moment, but it's fair play to him for keeping going. And Dave Fair seems to have burst of speed, doesn't he? Yellow flag in 1 because Harry's on the problem on the start-finish straight. So Harry in the straight line is having an issue with the McLaren there. So that's interesting. I wonder what's going on with Harry. And unfortunately, then as he's flown across the chicane there, and he's got a puncture. He's got a puncture, Harry has, and he's lost it in Curva Grande there, and somehow Double stays out of the back there. And how is all these guys avoiding him? I think so Harry there has done 25 laps on those tires, so I think that they're well past their best. We're just joined the race leader as we've also got Roscoe and Steve. We just gotten into combat as well, and now then is not that bad. It's on his final tour of the Italian Grand Prix. Harry's got a 5-second penalty. I don't think he's going to care too much, to be honest. I think he'd be absolutely gutted. He was only 2 laps away from finishing an incredible 10th there, as you can see. And he's spun off there, and that's he did a good job there, didn't he? PB and Dave are really fighting tooth and nail, aren't they? I'm really looking forward to this. They are really really giving it their all. This is fantastic, isn't it? Also, RU Racing's now also starting to step up his game, because he's now all over the back of Double. This is the final. This is about for the final point. Then can RU Racing even potentially get 2 points there? He's going to steer up the inside. Double's going to stay on the outside then, but RU Racing is up the inside track position, and he is up in the 10th position. That'll be 2 points there, as Harry there is just getting out of the way. And now and he's got a 10-second penalty for driving on the grass, really, so I don't think that that was warranted at all. Coming around the final corner there for the final time. Not that bad. It's going to win the Italian Grand Prix. This will be his 8th win in 11 races. What a drive, what a season for Not That Bad. Brilliant stuff. On a winning return as well. He's put the doubters to bed, hasn't he? Asdog is second. Cracking drive from Asdog. Really good drive indeed. Jonathan on his Italian in his Italian home track will finish for, and then remember he started 10th. Good drive for Jonathan. Roscoe. Dave is out of the race then, so David's retired from the race on the final lap, and he had real problems with that Red Bull, didn't he, towards the end. Then Roscoe finishes 4th then. Steve finishes 4th, Roscoe finishes 5th. Timmy is going to finish in a 6th position. Physico, I think, he's had a quality race, didn't he? Unfortunately damaged his front wing, didn't he, when he just come out of the pits. Otherwise what could have been there. Physico from 18th on the grid to 7th, so fantastic drive from Physico again there. And we got a car there who's bounced off the wall then, and that's the racing point then. PB is going to finish 8th in the end, and it's going to finish 8th in the end for the Alfa Romeo. Good drive. We had a great battle with Dave there, didn't he? And that's the McLaren well off the track there. That's Harry, who is having all sorts of problems there on the phone. What a shame for him. He had a good mega stint there. PB, great drive out from PB. Excellent stuff, and really gave us some absolutely memorable memorable battle, didn't we, between himself and Dave. RU Racing will finish 9th in the end. Good, I think he gets 2 points. And whoa, a double there. Oh, and double finishes 9th because of RU Racing's penalty. So double is 9th rather than double. 10th position is RU Racing, but he gets 2 points. Snap will finish 11th, and Penny on a well-deserved 11th position. Unfortunately, he's not in the race. And Harry there is and he's at 25 laps, and there's all sorts going on for McLaren now, and I think he's well, he's just enjoying himself in this very wet Monza Grand Prix. You can see we've got all sorts of cars then all over the place on the pit straight then. Fantastic race today. It was a brilliant race. It was a very miserable race in terms of the weather there, wasn't it? Absolutely appalling weather out there. Hills are up, of course, the Elite League driver, isn't he? Of course, I think he's 4th in the championship at the moment, the Mercedes driver. Nice one, Sean. Thanks, Hills are up. I hope you enjoyed that race. It was a very difficult race, wasn't it, for all those drivers out there. And Hills are up, well, hopefully, I think he's in Singapore in a week's time, isn't he, for the Elite guys? So, of course, that championship is really hot. Now, this one, I think, is a really, it's a battle behind this man, isn't it? But not that bad. It's once again showing how he is really not that bad. He's a fantastic driver, isn't he? He's breaking all the records here this season, and he has now won 8 races in 11 starts this season. This man is phenomenal. He really is. Of course, remember, he missed a couple of races as well. Absolutely incredible stuff. And let's take a look at the final classifications from the Italian Grand Prix here in Monza. A good shout out for Asdog for not getting any penalties there. Not that bad from 2nd on the grid to win. Asdog 2nd in the end. Jonathan Cox from 10th on the grid, fantastic stuff. Steve from 14th to 4th, brilliant driving there from Steve, and no penalties either. Roscoe 5th in the end. 6th position is Timmy. 7th position is Physico from 17th to 7th. Eggpick drive there. PB is 8th in the end. Great battle with Dave. 9th position is Double. Good driving there from Double. RU Racing 10th in the end. I think he got a fastest up. He got the fastest up in the end. Retirements then was I think it was Penny, Snap, Dave, Hog. Hog did come on, I think, in the end. Harry, JJ, and a couple of other drivers. John just mentioned that's 8 podiums for him, and he is absolutely right. It's 10 podiums for 10 podiums, not that bad. 8 wins, incredible stuff. Absolutely phenomenal driving today from all those guys. It was incredibly difficult to keep it on the island, wasn't it? In a very, very wet and horrible Monza Grand Prix. Right then, the next race will be in Singapore. That is it for the European races now for season 6 of IRC, for both for the Elite League as well and the Super League. We'll be in Singapore in a week's time. Of course, it's the night race, isn't it? So we're looking forward to that street circuit. It's going to be very tense, very difficult. We've gone from it's going to be nudged on an hour-long race next weekend. So yeah, I hope you've got your snacks with you, because it's going to be a marathon of a race, isn't it? Well, thank you all for joining us tonight. It's been great stuff. Thank you for your comments as well. It's really helped me out, because I do need a lot of help up here. It's been fantastic. I'm glad you've joined me. I've enjoyed it. I hope you have too. And remember, look out for the standings for both the Elite and the Super, which will be posted on the Facebook page to update your standings. And also, if you want to rewatch this race or the Elite race or any other races of IRC, then just come to the YouTube channel and remind yourself how great it's been this season. But yeah, we're going to leave it there for tonight, and going to be honest, I think it's going to be nice that all the drivers are going to be tucked in there a nice warm bed after what has been a miserable wet weather race here in Monza. See you in a week's time in Singapore.